Indians, baby. A real Indian, American Indian is me, not from Africa. Remember that.
African Americans here, but they recently moved here from places like Kenya, Ethiopia, Zambia, Zimbabwe, and Zaire. But now the brother whose family's lived in this country for generations, occupying space in all the locations, New York, Miami, LA, Detroit, Chicago, even if he's wearing a dashiki and sporting an afro. And if you go to Africa in search of your race, you'll find out quick, you're not an African American. You're just a black American in Africa taking up space.
And we are not Africans. We are not African. Are you an African, baby? I'm not no African. Nigga, you a lying motherfucker. Nigga talking about we African.
Shut these little House of Conscious niggas, cause they some funny dudes. I swear they some funny dudes. The House of Conscious is some funny dudes. I can't even front. They some funny dudes. Talk about the Aboriginals ran. We ran. That is some funny shit. Truly is. Yes. How's everybody doing? Oh, I just woke up literally a half hour ago. I was very tired, burnt out. I'm sorry, but genealogy killed me today. Y'all gotta forgive me. I'm sorry. Genealogy killed me today. doing two separate genealogies. And of course, genealogies never finish, but you have to have patience with people. And I'm sorry, genealogy killed me. I had to cancel tonight's meeting. I did. I fell asleep and I couldn't shake it. I can't even believe I'm coming live this time of night, but I need to because I'm tired. Hey, thank God, thank the ancestors for finding that girl in Alabama, man. That really hurt my heart so bad. I was so worried about that. And I'm like, wow, that's just like crazy, really crazy. I'm glad that it turned out to be that she's back home. I don't care about all the other talk that comes behind it, but I'm glad that she is home. I don't even want to hear anything else about it. What's important to me is she's back home. Other personal opinions about the whole situation, I don't care to hear. I don't. All I needed to hear is that the ancestors brought her home to her family. And that's all that's important to me. I ain't got no time for speculations about the whole crime scene situation. I wasn't there. And I'm not gonna have no build because that could have been my daughter. It could have been any of our daughters. And that's nothing to play with. We need to get our men to be our soldiers, man. We got to start bucking back and I'm sorry, we need our soldiers. I'm serious. I'm serious. I'm serious. I don't know. I often feel like we're gonna be going to war again. I really feel that. I don't know if anybody else has felt that, but at this point in history, I really feel like it's going to be another civil war on North American landmass. And at this time around, I don't believe that it's going to be North against the South. This shit is going to be all, I mean, a real civil war. And when I say a real civil war, I'm really feeling in my spirit all, I mean, when I say North America, I don't mean just to the mainland here in North America. I mean North, Central, and South America, not us against each other. That's not what I see. I don't see us against our Southern um, brothers and sisters in South America or in Central America. I don't see the war against us. I see us warring against those that have been oppressing us and overpowering us. This is going to be the ugliest war in history. Why? Because all other countries are fighting and dismantling and doing all kinds of crazy shit while we watch this happen live on TV. And um, I think ours is going to be worse than all of theirs. I do. I see this shit happening. I'm not promoting it. I just keep dreaming and feeling this. And I'm telling you right now, what I don't feel is that we gonna lose. How about that? I don't feel it. The shit ain't got nothing to do with color. It ain't got a damn thing to do with color. This civil war that's coming has nothing to do with color. I'm serious. It's just going to be the good ones against the fucking evil ones and taking down those that have been oppressing us for a very long time, whether our skin is brown or whether our skin is brown or white, whether it's melanated or non-melanated. Well, I see us all joining together for a real common purpose to defeat this ugly fucking governments. We have ugly fucking governments in North, Central, and South America that have been horrible to both melanated and non-melanated people. They've been doing horrible stuff for too long. And at some point, I see us just waking up and saying, fuck the color. Because I'm sick of the color bullshit too. I'm sick of the race shit. We got as humans, as people, as mamas, daddies, as families. We just I just keep feeling something's gonna happen, and we're all gonna wake up and say, you know what? We got to take these motherfuckers out because um right now we continue to point the finger at each other, melanated against non-melanated. And that's the era. That's what society wants us to do. And I just see this great awakening coming where there's going to be no fingers pointing, just straight up ass kicking. This is what I see. This is what I see going to happen here in the Western Hemisphere. I do. And it's like every time some politician or somebody tries to pull us on their side, we're going to start waking up to that and just be like, I don't want to be on your fucking side. Seriously. I see awakening that's going to wake us all up, whether we're any race. It doesn't fucking matter whether we're Aboriginals, Asians, Africans, Europeans, every fucking race on this planet that's here in North, Central, and South America. Whether you're from Spain, French, Germany, Russian, any fucking race that's over here because they've been bamboozled or hurt by their own country for their own reason of being here in North America. And now they're here and they're going to wake up to our governments here and say, look, we left our fucking governments to come over here for peace that you told us that we would have. I'm sick of you. I didn't come here for you to oppress me. I'm tired. And that's how it's going to be. It's going to be good against evil. That's what it's going to turn out to be. And you know what? That's a war that that I guess that's the war that my dreams are preparing me for because I'm sick of motherfuckers. It's ugly people in every fucking race. There's no perfect race, but there damn sure is ugly in every race, and there's good and great in every race. So let us be the great people and whoop ass because I'm tired. I'm fucking tired. In my melanated Aboriginal race, we got some ugly, low down, dirty, sorry motherfuckers. And I know non-melanated people can say the same fucking thing. That's why you're not taking a European's gun. You're not taking a European Second Amendment. But this time, all I ask is the Europeans, when you do exercise that motherfucking Second Amendment, because we all gonna be exercising that bitch. Let's do it the right way this time. That's all I'm saying. Let's do it for the right reasons this time. Let's wake up out of the indoctrination that they put all our fucking asses in. For real. That's what I'm talking about. Now that's a real motherfucking worthy reason. Seriously. Second Amendments. I really do see a fucking civil war coming again. And this is going to be the ugliest in the history on this landmass. But I know one thing. I'm confident that we're going to win that bitch. We're going to get rid of all ugly, evil motherfuckers that's over here. And it's going to be the best feeling in history. But anyway, let's get into these punks over in the House of Conscience community. Talking about Aboriginals ran. Aha! First of all, Sinetta, you know, I wanted to always think that, you know, you were a good guy because I went over your place and Claire with a clear head. But you a shady dude. I don't care how much you apologize. And this shit's backfiring on you. You need the Aboriginal community, first of all. so that you can get views and subscriptions and your views could go up so you can get your little YouTube check. But see, here's the thing. Let me put you on to something. We Aboriginal American Indians didn't run from your ass. Here's what we did. We came together consciously and said, we're not fucking with y'all no more. And it's not worth going over there to debate with y'all. We're tired of y'all. That's what we did. We came together and said, yo, don't go over there no more. Fuck them niggas. That's what we said. So we didn't run. There's no reason to run. None of your people can fuck with any of us. That includes the bitches and the niggas. None of them. I just want you to put that out there. None of them are worth my time. Seriously. I'm not fucking with nobody that read their colleagues' books and call it the truth. Fuck all y'all over there. Okay? So we didn't run. We all agreed not to just fuck with y'all. The only time your views go up is when we come over there. Now go back and look the shit up on your own segments. Go look them up. The only time your shit goes up is when an Aboriginal is over there. So you need us. But guess what? We don't need y'all. And I have a small platform. So I don't worry about no damn views. I don't worry about no goddamn views. So that's what you need to know. We Aboriginals came together and said, fuck over there. Let's not go over there. Facts. That's what we did. We said, fuck them. So we didn't run. Now, Ali Muhammad, you said that he was left to represent us. First of all, I love Ali Muhammad. He a bad motherfucker. And I have a right. And let me just put this out there. I got a right to compliment a brother that deserves to be complimented. Ali Muhammad is a motherfucking beast. And after watching again, I repeat this again, none of y'all are in his league. None of y'all are on his level. None of y'all can fuck with him. From all you, listen, Jabari cannot fuck with Ali Muhammad. I'm serious. He need to run. That's the motherfucker that need to run. He is not in Ali Muhammad's league. All right? All Ali Muhammad was a goddamn interview over there, and he already beat him. He beat everybody over there. Every conscious person that stepped on the panel, from the bitches to the niggas, he beat them all in a fucking interview. So there's not even a need to even watch the debate. And anybody stupid enough to go and watch it is stupid. But if it's for free on your page, I'll watch it. I'll watch it as long as that shit's free, because I ain't paying a fucking dime to watch your shit. Hell no. I keep my money in my goddamn pocket. Pay for my cigarettes. Again, Ali Muhammad decided to go over there because that's his personal choice to debate. But he's going to whoop that ass. Jabari's the one that needs to step down. And the reason why I'm personally not going, and I told you this, is because what you did and allowed to happen to me. This motherfucker thought that he was running into some chick that lied about her degrees. I got my shit. I got my master's. I have my 3 separate degrees. Like I said, I have a master's in social work. I have a bachelor's in legal studies. And I have a bachelor's in criminal justice. That's my shit. You don't like educated women because you're a little punk from Barbados. And you went and pulled up my fucking linkage account that I created way back in 2011 and hasn't been touched since. I think I removed it, and it takes a while to remove. I don't know if it's still there, but I update that shit. I left it like that. I got my shit. And you know damn well you can call UConn and the University of Harvard and get my motherfucking credentials. I will. Let me know your real, well, I know your name, Corvin, corny ass name that your mama named you. And I'll give the universities permission to let you check on my motherfucking credentials, bitch. And I'm saying it again. I'm calling you a bitch. You got mad because I called you a bitch. You are a bitch. You act like one. You're too feminine. And it's funny how you got a wife. Is it really a man? Because you act too feminine. You act more feminine than Michael Jackson. And as you stated on his live the other day, motherfucker, you don't even have your master's degree and you're fucking with me. I got mine. Climb up to my level, bitch. That's probably why you're having a problem getting some real good research instead of using your little corny ass colleague boys, motherfucking books as your proof, you idiot. So yeah, you need to keep going, Jabari, and the universities, so you could learn how to get real research. Stupid. Now that I discussed the Aboriginals ran, this one didn't run. Like I said, I don't need to be bothered with y'all. I don't got to prove shit, and I'm not going over no corny Pan African chicks. Fuck you and them. Now, how about that? Now, I would like to get into my hey DeAndre, Original Internet, Conwolf. I am Anthony Lowe, Lies Unplugged. What's up, y'all? What's good? So, y'all, I'm gonna put the link up at the top early today because I really want to get in this shit. We're gonna just talk about their little stinking book. The first shall be last, and the last shall be first. Okay, I want to talk about that. Let me get this damn link up here first. And y'all's little book. Shit, I forgot Aboriginal Power was debating. My bad. Oh well, I don't watch rap shit anyway. I'm sorry, brother. Okay, let's put this up to the top. All right. This little damn thing is in the way. Why is this thing in the way? I want to pin it to the top. Mic check. I'm trying to pin this damn thing to the top. And it really sucks doing this. All right, here we go. It should pin up there now. Oh, come on. Pin to the top. All right, here we go. So they have in their little book, it says the first shall be last and the last shall be first. Oh yeah, by the way, Jabari's he's like more like fucking Socrates and Plato and all them motherfuckers. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I mean, he's like, oh, when you go over there, all I can think of is Socrates, Plato's, and what's his other Aristotle. Them motherfuckers. Oh, Socrates, my favorite book. I read it. Ah, too feminine. Too feminine for me. I'm sorry. Anyway, the first shall be last, and the last shall be first. So here's my thing. Now, if these motherfucking characters even existed, Plato and all them Greek mythologists, they seem to think that Atlantis sunk in the water and it was a very advanced civilization. And they're saying that the people that occupied the sinking Atlantis uh, look like Mongoloid people. You know what? Kiss my ass, y'all little three homos. You telling a fucking lie. Because if that's what happened, why did Mongols appear again? Get your ass out of here. Socrates, Aristotle, and Plato. Don't even play with Sister Bethy. Y'all little woman hating dudes sitting by a tree talking shit all day. Three little fairies sitting by a tree talking all day. Three. And that's exactly who is the three guys over there in the House of Conscience. Atlantis, talking about Atlantis sunk, right? This is what Aristotle and Plato and all of them are saying, that Atlantis sunk, and the people that were occupying the Atlantis in this really advanced civilization were Mongoloids. Yeah, okay. Keep it up. Keep it up. I don't think so. So that being said, now, um, when you really when I think about the first thing that comes to my mind when I think in their book of the first should be last and the last shall be first, the first thing that comes to my mind is okay, you guys and everyone says that we were in power. Okay. Um, the first thing that comes to my mind literally is melanated and non-melanated. Why? I don't know why. When and the only reason why, and this is something thought, not I didn't really even research on this. I have not. But I'm thinking just from the top of my head. When I think of first should be last and last should be first, matter of fact, I think I should put that. No, I'm not going to put it at a banner. When you say the first shall be last and the last shall be first, the first thing that comes to my mind is melanated versus non-melanated. Why? I don't know why that thought is in my head. Could it be from when I used to read the Bible with the Hebrew Israelites? Maybe that's where it's coming from. But I am un-Hebrew Israelite bullshit. I don't. I mean, you're talking 20, 30 goddamn years ago. Damn, my daughter's about to be 31. So yeah, that's how fucking long I have not affiliated myself with no damn Hebrew Israelites. But I don't know why the first thing that comes to my mind is melanated versus non-melanated. And the only reason why I say that is because it seems that the melanated people at one point were the indigenous people of all the land masses around this damn earth, all four corners of this earth. It seems that the melanated people were the people that were in power. And it seems like the melanated people were the indigenous or aboriginal, however you want to put it, people of each land. This is what you guys are saying. This is what um Benjamin Franklin's notes is basically saying, how he described every fucking weird being, tawny, you know, melanated people, predominantly in power everywhere. Okay. So now it seems like all the non melanated people appear to be in power everywhere. So I'm just wondering, all right, well, we first and then we went out of power because now it seems like a lot of us, whether we're melanated all around this goddamn planet, we're applying for jobs and all these non melanated people's corporations predominantly. So I say to you, what are your thoughts? And this is open topics. Please stick to the topics when you come up here. Hit the link. I would like to hear your part on it. So were we first or were we fucking last? Or is the world just going to keep repeating itself and we're going to be first again? Or are we just last and that's the fucking end of it? I would like to know now. Remember, this shit is according to their Bible and their book. Okay. So if you're a believer of that, then is that the case? But if you're saying, wait a minute, I don't believe this bullshit. Because at any point in time, anybody can fucking take over, whether they're melanated or not melanated. I don't know. So is it that we're last now because we were already in power? Or did that shit shift? Is that the case? I think I'm going to have to make a banner so people could see what we're actually talking about. Because this shit is very real, man. What does the shall last? Okay, here it is. All right, there's the banner. There's the banner. I'll give y'all a little while to get up here. All right. And this is the question. This is the question. Anybody, I don't care who you are. I really would have liked to ask Apostle this question, but he hasn't contacted me. Maybe he got in touch with Saint Netta and said no, he's not going to go because they all stick together. I don't care. But to me, it seems like every time he gets on their panels, they fucking humiliate him. And he's almost 70 years old, so don't have any respect for him. They don't have any respect for him at all. And he's a frequent of the Bible. And I would really would have liked to hear his thoughts or his interpretation of the first shall be last and the last shall be first mean. So that's the question of today. Hit the link and pop up and answer that question. What does the first shall be last and the last shall be first mean? And I'm going to play a little music until you come up. If you don't come up, it's probably because it means maybe you don't want to be bothered. I'll log off and say, oh, well, nobody wants to talk about it. So I'll wait for y'all to come up.
What's good, Dama? ISO to the ND, yeah. Open up the door, watch all the G's forward. Smoke clouds follow while we hit another quarter. 50s in a carry-on, feel like a transporter. It's a privilege to know me, that's 100 on my broski. 1-2 punch, damn this thing hitting fully. Fresh pot of gumbo and we back up on our bully. Beat by Dama, shout out to the boy Cushy. Now I'm everything I could be, shades on with a hoodie. Off a little something, so you think I got my eyes closed. These is one of none, no baby, these is not those. Getting so much chicken blockheads out of tacos. Getting so much packs like we gotta scan a barcode. Getting so much A, cause we working out of ISO. Should've went Indies, but you didn't, now you dry snow. Baby come to Brooklyn, yeah, you know they moving shining stone. Told her pull it over, ain't gotta read no rights though. Everything a process, checking in deposits. Got a shoe closet, many complex closet. He a true prophet, in a true pocket. Racket club days, yeah, we used to be on my fit. Getting so much, what was so much in this world? Mine is what you make it, then every day's a turf. I ain't never settled, so you better up the skirt. Put the pedal to the flirt, yo, check the dashboard. Getting so much, what was so much in this world? Mine is what you make it, then every day's a turn. I ain't never settled, so you better up the skirt. Put the pedal to the flirt, yo, check the dashboard. Cause they open up the door to G's forward. Smoke clouds follow while we hit another quarter. 50s in a carry-on, feel like a transporter. It's a privilege to know me, that's 100 on my broski. 1-2 punch, damn this thing hitting fully. Fresh pot of gumbo and we back up on our bully. Beat by Dama, shout out to the boy Cushy. Now I'm everything I could be, shades on with a hoodie.
Hey, you know that hoodie ISO. When we touch stage, and you know that it's a light show. If you ain't got no God, then you can't join the site, bro. It's in the hood doing stick-ups with a rifle. I just keep it business, man, if I don't really like you. She was trying to front, but she still let me pipe, though. I can stay fat, I don't need lipo. I'm saving up my breath for insurance like Geico. Getting to the chicken like we eating out at Roscoe's. We was in the hood, really trapping up for iPhones. People move fake, then they act like they're reliable. Always.
Does anybody have an answer to this question? Anybody? Hello? Does anybody have the answer to the question that's on the banner? What does the first shall be last and the last shall be first mean? What does that mean? What does that mean? Hey, I know, KLW. I want you to go over there and tell him to come here. And the link, and tell him to hit my link. Could you go over and tell Apostle to come here? I refuse to go over and sign that as goddamn community. Because I'm sick of them niggas. But I will talk to Apostle. I like him. Hey, Public Enemy. Can you tell him to come and hit my link? It's pinned to the top. Or could you do that for me, KLW? Is that possible? Because yeah, can you tell him to come here? Yeah, I see him over there. I see him over there. Go in the chat room and tell him Sister Betsy said come here. But seriously, can someone hit the link and explain what does the first shall be last and the last shall be first mean? That's only according to their Bible. No one say you can't honestly believe that that is truth. Seriously, that's only if you're a Bible thumper or a Bible believer. But right now, it seems like all the people that are non-melanated have all the corporations, the majority of the corporations across this landmass, including in the North, Central, and South America. It seems that the non-melanated people have all of the power. Is that true? Can you at least answer that, y'all? Do all the non-melanated people have all the corporations and power in North, Central, and South America? That's all I want to know. Yep. Thank you, Lies Unplugged. Creek Running Water. Hey, now, you can hit the link, brother. Lies Unplugged. You can hit the link. That's what I see. I see all of the non-melanated people having power in North, Central, and South America. Am I blind to that, or is that true? It's like they have the power over here and all other countries. All non-melanated people are in power. I don't see where melanated people have power anywhere on the planet at this point. If someone can come up and enlighten me, that would be helpful. Nobody talks about that. And okay, no one talks about that. I mean, it's their Bible, so it seems that what's written in their Bible is actually working because it's their Bible. That's their book on how they're in power. So, if I'm mistaken, were we first and now our ass is last? The first, I'm looking at that. It could be confusing when you read it. The first shall be last. If we the first, ain't we supposed to be last? But my thing is, were we the first? Because we're not in power. And everybody always teach, from what I'm hearing in YouTube, that we were an advanced civilization and we were in power. So how come we're not in power? Is it because what they wrote in their Bible has taken place? Were they last and now they're in power? I mean, when you're looking at the first shall be, that's speaking in future tense. The first shall be, that means shall be, future tense. The first shall be last in future tense. And the last shall be first. That's speaking in future tense. Shall be, meaning it's going to happen. So it seems, has that happened? Is the last now first? And is that why all the melanated people are in power? According to that Bible, I really want to know. Can someone answer that? I mean, that's something to talk about. How come all in every country you go in, it's a non-melanated person that's reigning or in power or in control or calling the shots and have all the weapons? Because we are out of order. Malik Mack. So, I mean, it seems like that's the case. These non-melanated people have been in power. I was born in the 60s. I don't know when, and A1 always teach that. he always says a lot. I've heard A1 say, them motherfuckers didn't come. We were in power. We got out of power. I think he said in the 1900s, or they, we were always in power until like the late 1800s. I don't know, A1, if you're listening, can you come and clarify? But A1 always say that we that them motherfuckers didn't have power over here to do that. So obviously we were in power for a long time. Okay. Because it's like all the brown people, no matter where you go. India has a lot of people. Indian. And now all the melanated people, that it just seems like it. That's the big division. The melanated versus the non-melanated. And according to their Bible, who has the mark of the beast? What is the mark of the beast? What is that? I think I heard Brother Sanchez at one time say, maybe we all were white and now we're brown. I'm sorry. I don't know about that, Brother Sanchez. Because to be melanated, that is normal. That's very normal. Now, I read in there, people tell the story that Jacob and Esau were twin brothers. This is what the Hebrew Israelites stand on. And one was melanated and one was not. One was hairy all over, and that's supposed to be Esau. And he had like hair like fur and stuff. And the other one wasn't given a description, Jacob, because he looked normal like everybody else on the landmass. Uh-oh, here come Creek. Okay, Creek. Why is this not working? Here you go. Okay, Creek.
Oh, okay, I got it. I'm on my phone. Peace to the guys. Peace to the guys and goddess. You know, we give great to the give thanks to the great spirit now. Let's see what we got going on, because on my phone is they like mess with my audio.
You sound fine here.
Yeah. Oh, I'm on my phone and I was listening on the YouTube and hit the link and it took me to another tab in the browser. So I think I fixed it. Can you hear me?
Mic check 1 2. Perfect. You sound perfect.
Okay. All right. Excellent. Okay. Good. No, I'm just rocking with what you're saying. Oh, you tell them the truth.
I mean,
you know how are they? You know, they all in power, and you know, it's called this the power of separation. They got a doctrine that states all that whole thing, and then they take every one race of each person. You know, if we want to use let's use the framework of the UN, which is going to be United Nations. That's all the nations coming together. We don't have nobody representing us. The United States is supposed to be representing us, but we still trying to figure out who we are. I don't know if we the 3/5 of a person, the 3/4 of a person they talked about in the Constitution, or are we the Indian non-tax or not enumerated? Which one? See, we got to come together collectively. Can one person can't, take a handful of people and then say, we speak for everybody? You know what I'm saying? We don't know who we are. First of all, I tell people all the time, go back to step one. Who are you?
Exactly.
Once we can figure that part out, all the rest of it's going to roll downhill. Because they already, if you pay attention to the politics a little bit, you don't have to get, be major in it. But, they already indicted Biden. They did the same thing with Trump administration. And now they're all telling on the Wuhan stuff is getting out. I can't pronounce the name of the guy who's a Chinese guy, but he ended up turning to be informant for the Biden. They got a name criminal family. Biden criminal family is what they calling them. That's that's their nickname offline. So it's going downhill. There is no government. I got to understand that. Because this has been a corporation, and the corporation part has been dissolved. So now you you're executing color of law, you know what I'm saying, when you don't have a government to back it up. So that's just basically slavery.
I mean, but what proof is that there's no government? And
Well, because the administration, the administration is not active. When you go to these places since the COVID, you know what I mean, they're telling you that it's no longer, one thing and it's something else totally different. But if that's the case, then you should have some type of form put together where people are learning the law when it changes. You know what I'm saying? They're not doing that.
Oh,
once you, yeah, because it's been dissolved.
How do we know that, though? How do we know it's been dissolved?
Well, I know it because when you tap in, okay, well, what I did is I looked at the administration of the United States, and then from there, when I ping that, I just do checks and balances. I like to follow where the, a lot of people say follow the money, but if you got a print press, you ain't following no money. It's always going to a print press. You know what I'm saying? They can print it out and hyper inflate everything and make it seem like we're running out of money. But when they just go print some more and just put it back in and cause inflation. But what I usually do is I look at the administration of who's running the government. Okay. And the big players is always going to be the Rothschilds. The other one is going to be Rockefellers and the Carnegies. Those three are in power. But I tell people all the time, Rothschild.
Are they the first? Because I'm trying to stick to the topic. Are they the first? And are they the first or are they the last?
No, actually, the Rothschilds, what they did is they did a merger at one point in time, and it was two royal families, and then they started interbreeding. So you got all these different ones, Rothschilds and Carnegie, all these ones.
Greek. The question is, what does the first shall be last and the last shall be first mean? That's the question.
I had to ask the person that wrote it. Because other than that, we just be guessing. But I'll tell you the truth. It goes back to what I just supposed the first time. Which one are we? Are we the 3/4 of a person, or the 3/5 of a human, or are we the Indian non-counted, or whatever? I'm not quoting it, just ad-libbing.
Which one of those do you think we are?
By default, you're already black because they put you in a silver matus status, so you don't have a status.
Well, I'm not. I don't care about what they put us in.
We living up to the standard of. Go ahead.
Who do you think we are? Who do you think we are out of the three that you just named? The 3/5. Which one of those three do you think we are?
You go by the actions. They treating you like you are counted. I mean, you still got to pay taxes. They're holding you accountable.
Forget about the way that they treat us. Forget about the way they.
What I think personally is what you're saying.
Right.
Oh no, to be honest with you, I think that we are indigenous to this land, and you want to be technical. I don't think the Caucasian white man is indigenous to nowhere. I don't think he's indigenous to nowhere. Okay, and that has been proven over and over again. Everywhere you go, they got to hijack the scene first, quarantine it, and then bring their little figurines in there. Okay, if you go back to one of your shows, I think it was Sanchez. And it was that time when him and Chief Holiday had that debate, and they went on about fossils versus bones. Okay. Hey, we got to go by the better of the argument. Okay. So we know that when you go back too far, bones are going to fossilize. Okay. So we just now getting to the point where we see archaeologists are not telling us the truth about things. So we have to be able to inquire common sense with a lot of this, right? So, but to some degree, we are going to look at some of the source of information that they're feeding us. And then you have to be able to cross-reference, you know what I'm saying, and use your own, common sense to figure out what makes sense based on what they said. You know what I'm saying? It can't be contradictory. Can't have conflicting information. Once you can sort through all that, you're going to see where they've been lying. So, like I said, to get back on point, they're not indigenous to nowhere. That's been proven. You know that. Okay. And now they coming with all these these artifacts that are mixed, mulatto mixed, which is a lie. We know that's a lie. But see, but now because they put it out in the mainstream, people are using perception, you know what I'm saying? And they're not using information. They're not using credible information. And that's really, it's more than a slap in the face. It's because it applies to us. We're the one that's getting the backlash, or being discriminated against. So, like I said, to put it in perspective, everything I just said, yes, we are the originals. But if you don't got everybody that's going to agree with that, then we have to take the ones that are amongst us and make a separation from us from the ones that want to be Negroes. That's number one. Now we can make a clear determination on who the Indian is and who the person is, the 3/5 of a person. That's it. Once you get to that point, but the thing is, I'm gonna say this one thing. I'm gonna put my opinion on it. Once you see that it's better to be an Indian and you got the immunity and all the things that we've been looking for, it's in the pathway of the person that's claiming to be an Indian, who's going to want to be black after that?
Correct.
Nobody. So now you got propaganda. See, they already know ahead of time what's going to work and what's not going to work. But let me get back on your question. I'm going to pass the mic. So white folks came into power, World War I. And I've been investigating that for a long time. And there's nothing that's not agreeing. There's nothing in agreement with the research that I got so far for years. That there was all this mix. And when you got a painter named Rembrandt who did a overtone with a screen painting and painted all these pictures over. Go look up Rembrandt. Okay, I got that. Shouts out to Philly OG, Big Dog Philly OG. I dropped that on his channel, and I gave the source for that. I gave the source for Rembrandt being the one that he was the first one to paint the picture of George Washington. Okay, and did an overtone. That's all he did is paint over him.
Wow.
He took them from brown or dark to white.
Wow.
White people are tricking us into thinking that they've been here all this time, and they haven't. See, and then now when you get it,
where the fuck did they come from? Because it's right here.
Recessive. Now you got to go into the biology. So biology, yeah. So we already know that they. Go ahead.
It's saying here that
it's ready. It's ready. It's ready. Go ahead, sister.
The Saxons only accepted who with the English. The Saxons. They're talking about the Saxons. The Saxons only.
You talking about the Anglo-Saxons?
Yeah, it's saying the Saxons only accept who with the English make up the principal body of white people on the face of the earth. And he's saying, I wish their numbers were increased. So he's saying that the Anglo-Saxons, along with the English, make up the principal body of white people. So
I've heard
my
that.
thing is, where did the fuck did they come from? Where did they come from?
Spicy. It's spicy. Yeah, we're you know what? I'm working on trying to get because this is a very controversial subject matter. I'm pretty sure if I say something, you're gonna get all your scholars on here to try to debate with me, or they're gonna try to tell me that's not true, or they're gonna come up with something.
I don't think so. I know where honestly, where do you? I wish white people would come.
They know where they came from.
I don't know. I would like to know.
Oh, that's a controversial thing. I'll say it like this. Okay, when you go to the most common, reason, and you can find anything that's going to support your facts.
Your mic muted, Creek. Can't hear you.
Mike, hold on. Then they made my screen. Look at what they're doing over here. Look at it. Then they made so I can't find the screen. They don't want me to get over here and say that.
Where's your computer?
I'm not in front of a computer right now. I'm out and about. So I'm over at some company's house right now, and so I was trying to get real long with it. Yeah, but can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you. Somebody keep banging in the background.
The microphone is. Yeah, I got a microphone on my headset. And it's picking up all that noise outside. But
Oh,
I'll say this one thing, and I'll pass the mic. I'll say this one thing. You know, white folks are the recessive gene. They're recessive. Okay. So, and we know that their DNA or whatever, 22 and me, whatever, which one, not just that one, but not limited to just them, but anybody that does with deals with DNA or some type of forensics, because I study forensics. Okay, they're a recessive gene. Okay, so when you get into chromosomes and splitting and that's all that. Okay, white folks said somehow or another had to have a human prototype, so they had to
explain
come
to
from
the
us.
audience. Explain to the audience what a recessive gene is, if you may.
Recessive gene.
Yes.
No, I'm on live. I'm live. Now, recessive gene means a weaker gene, a degenerate. So, yeah, mixed. It's not 100%. It's lacking. It's deficient, meaning it's lacking something.
Oh, can't hear you. Your mic went away. Your mic is not. I can't hear you. Mic check. Creek. Damn. Oh well. Well, the link is pinned to the top, y'all. Can't hear you, Creek. Can't hear you.
Speaking on that, man,
Can't
they
hear
do
you.
not want me
When it,
speaking on that.
yeah, there's absolutely nothing came out of what you said. Nothing.
They do not
We
want me
didn't hear
speaking on the
anything.
origin of white man.
Okay.
On
Okay. I'm gonna start over with the question again. Look at that. Now he done fell off. Oh boy, oh boy. I don't know what happened there. But anybody can hit the link. Um, I'm only and I would like white people, if you're out there listening, please feel free to step to the panel. I'm only saying this because Benjamin Franklin wrote this in his notes. He said that the Saxons only accepted who with the English make the principal body of white people on the face of the earth. Damn, he's talking about the earth. And he said he wished their numbers would increase. So why would a white guy write something like that in his notes saying that white it wasn't that many white people? Um what would be helpful to me is, okay, so Benjamin Franklin, you're saying that um white people are, if Benjamin Franklin, if you're saying that white people are a small portion of people on the face of the earth, then I asked Benjamin Franklin, where did they come from? Now, from I'm hearing, I mean, where did they come from? We know where white people are coming from now, but I'm talking about back during that time when you said that there was a little small portion of white people on the face of the earth. We know that when they come here now, that they're coming from one of the European countries like Germany, Russia, Italy, France, Spain. We know that now, but at the time when he was talking, when Benjamin Franklin was explaining that, I mean, he said the Anglos, and they're, I mean, you're talking the British and English, England. So prior to that, where did white people come from? And that's a really good question to ask. If it was a small amount of them, where did they come from? That's really crazy. He said that there's a small portion of them. So if it's indeed a small portion of them on the face of the earth, where did they come from? Can anybody answer that question in our honesty? Hit the link. And are they last? Because if it's only a small amount of them, if there's only a small amount of white people, as he says back in the 1700s, when Ben Franklin said this, or that small amount, was it always, were they a first, or were they the last? So if it's only a small amount of them, were they first or were they last? Benjamin Franklin's observation of mankind was written, I believe, in 1786. Let me see, let me see, when did he write this? He wrote this in 1751. So in 1751, and he wrote that in 1751, Benjamin Franklin's observation of mankind. He wrote that in 1751, and he said that white people, his people, they were a small portion of people on the face of the earth, and that he wished they would increase. So if they were a small portion, where did they come from? And where did they come from prior to being such a small? Were they here first or were they here last? Did they come before all the melanated people, or did they come after all the melanated people? That's the question I have. And if there's a brave white person out there to step to the panel and hit the link, I would ask, I would want to know, where did they come from? Hit the link on the top. Why are you guys so afraid to hit the link? Hi, Red Squid. I'm posing a question. Hi, Day Allen Warren. I'm posing a question, and I'm really want to know. And I'm going to put it back up here. Benjamin Franklin wrote this in 1751, and I'm asking a honest question. I have a right to ask the question. He said that the principal body of white people on the face of the earth. You're talking about the entire earth. He said that the principal body of white people on the face of the earth is small. I'll read it. It's right here. It's saying, which leads me, this is what Benjamin Franklin says. He's saying that the number of purely white people in the world, it's right here. These are not my notes. Right here after number 24, which this is what Benjamin Franklin says. He said that the number of purely white people in the world is proportionably very small. And then he goes into saying all Africa is black or tawny. But wait a minute. Back during that time, the word Africa was not being used. Asia, chiefly tawny. America, exclusive of the newcomers, wholly so. He's saying the entire America was black or tawny. And in Europe, he was saying the Spaniards, the Italians, the French, the Russians, and Swedes are generally of what we call a swarthy complexion, as are the Germans also. The Saxons only accepted who, with the English, make the principal body of white people on the face of the earth. And he said that he wished their numbers were increased. So I'm just asking the question. And is anyone brave enough to come in and make an attempt to answer that? I want to know where did white people come from then, if there was a small portion? So now that's really putting something in my head, because if you're saying, Mr. Benjamin Franklin, if you are saying this, if you're saying all of in 1751, this is where it really is freaking me out, Mr. Benjamin Franklin. If you're saying that Asia, America are all, black or tawny people, all right, and then you're saying Europe, the Spaniards, the Italians, the French, the Russians, the Swedens are generally of what we call swarthy complexion. All right. Now this is the shit that's really freaking me out. So if this is true with the Spaniards, Mr. Franklin, and the French and the Russians, they came over here and colonized. So in 1751, all right, you're talking. That means when the Spaniards came over here and colonized, they were all swarthy complexion. When the Spaniards came over here and colonized, when the French came over here and colonized, that's crazy. That sounds real. That really lightens up my eyes. That all these people that came over here in North, Central, and South America were swarthy people. Swarthy complexion. Now, I'm going to go, and he said this in 1751 is when he wrote this. So if they came over here, then they were swarthy complexion people. Now, when you go and you look up this, all right, I'm going to look on the damn images. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. I'm going to share this. This is what Benjamin Franklin said. Swarthy complexion. Look at this. Swarthy complexion. Down here, it's saying this is a swarthy complexion. That's swarthy. Swarthy. All over here. Swarthy. This person's from India. That's a swarthy complexion. Swarthy. Look at this. All this is swarthy. Swarthy. They're saying swarthy complexion. So this is what's freaking me out, Mr. Benjamin Franklin. There, all those people, when the French came over here and colonized, they were swarthy. This is what Benjamin Franklin wrote in 1751. So that means when Spain came over here, they were my complexion. If Benjamin Franklin is saying in 1751 that his people is very small proportion. Aga Khan, I don't think it's done. I'm only, he's just saying the color of the people. He was writing in his notes. I know this hurts, but this is an official. Benjamin Franklin is an official to the government. Let me see. Oh, let's go back. Let's see. This is what they're saying. Hear what they're saying about Benjamin Franklin. He was government. I'm going to do a share screen. They're saying Benjamin Franklin, one of the leading figures of early American history. Benjamin Franklin, born 1706, died in 1790. He died either before the first census came out, was a statesman, an author, a publisher, a scientist, an inventor, and he was a diplomat. And this diplomat was taking notes. Born into a Boston family of modest means, Franklin had little formal education. He went on to start a successful printing business in Philadelphia and grew wealthy. Franklin was deeply active in public affairs in his adopted city, where he helped launch a lending library, hospital, and college, and garnered acclaim for his experiments with electricity, among the other projects. During the American Revolution, he served on the Second Continental Congress. He was a representative on Congress and helped draft the damn Declaration in 1776. He also negotiated the 1783 Treaty of Paris that ended the Revolutionary War. In 1787, in his final significant act of public service, he was a delegate to the convention that produced the United States Constitution. I'm fucking done. So you have this man writing in 1751 that there wasn't that many white people. So I'm only asking a fair question, not being racist or clowning white people or anything. But according to what he wrote, he said that he only wished their numbers would increase, that they were a small population. So that says a whole lot about Spain when they came over here and colonized, French when they came over here and colonized, who they were. They were people that looked like us. And now we got official notes from a delegate, a representative, a drafter of the Constitution. We have official notes from him. So he was telling the truth. So I'm asking you, my colleagues here in YouTube world, you can't make this shit up and you can't make assumptions. So my question, was Benjamin Franklin lying or was he telling the truth? That's my next question, because we need to talk about the first shall be last and the last shall be first. So was he fucking lying? No, it was written. Well, it was written in 1751. KLW. It was written in 1751. He helped drafted the Constitution. So yeah. So I have these questions, and it's only fair to ask, where did they come from? And why is it such a small proportion of them? Yes, indeed, Lies Unplugged. It is indeed a primary source. Anything a diplomat, a representative, during that time, yes, he was a very important figure in those days, and his source is primary, and that is in the Library of Congress. He took his notes, and they was all his observations of the Americas and the world period. He knew that the Germans were swarthy. All these people were people that look like us. That's why I asked this question, you guys. Um, what does the first shall be last and last shall be first mean? I mean, were these few white people first or were they last? Because right now, all these people that don't look like us, that have white skin, appear to come from somewhere, because they're all over and they all have all these corporations. Or it just could they still be a small population? That's my question that I'm posing. And yeah, take the etymology, take a look at the etymology of the word. What did it mean in 1751? The etymology of what? Which word? Frequency. Which word? Because I'll pull it up. What you said? Take a look at the etymology of the word. What did it mean in 1751? If you give me what word do you want me to look up? And I'll look it up now and share it and go through it. Smash the like button, you guys. Which word do you want me to look up for etymology? Where are we are in an age? Hi, full of debate. My name is spelled wrong. It's BTHY, but hello, Few Contract Debate League. Which word do you want me to look up? 357 frequency. Because that's a real question to ask, and that's really really want you guys to read Benjamin Franklin's observation. Read this, and I will be back. I'll give you a little music while you read, and then I'll look up the etymology as soon as he puts up the word. Look up the word etymology online. As soon as he give me the word to look up. So give me a minute. I'll give you guys a minute. Hit the link. I really want a dialogue. Hey, big dog.
Hey, Sister Bethy, mic check, mic check. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you real good.
Much love and respect to you and the family always. Much love and respect to everybody in the chat. I'm just tapping in, sister.
Go ahead, big dog. Why would Benjamin Franklin write that?
Yes, ma'am. I was just tapping in. I was gonna let you finish your presentation.
No, go ahead. I want to know why would Benjamin Franklin write that? You have any idea?
Hey, that's the way he felt. Is all I can say.
Mm. Okay, so they told me to look up swarthy and etymology. All right, here we go. Wow. So I'm gonna do a share screen. Here you go. I'm looking up swarthy. Etymology says dark colored. Dark colored. This is the adjective. Um, dark color, especially of skin. And that's in the 1580s. Unexplained alteration of swarthy, 1570s, from swarty, related swarthiness. Then when you go down here, also Scavarter, or whatever that means, Schwartz, meaning black person, somewhat derogatory. 1961 Yiddish from Schwartz, black, see swarthy. Perhaps originally a code word to refer to black servants when they were within earshot, as its German cognate, Schwartz, is said to have been used. In Baltimore in the 80s of the last century, the German speaking householders, when they had occasion to speak of Negro servants in their presence, called Diablos. In the 70s, these Swartz, blacks, had been used, but it was believed that the Negroes had fathomed it. The American Language Supplement in 1945. Then it gets into bice. Bice, which is a noun, pale blue color. A pale blue color, early 15th century. Shortened from blue is blue bice, from French biz, swarthy, brownish gray, a word unknown origin. Cognate with Italian bigio, be a French combination, azure biz, vert biz, names given to two dark colors using in painting. The word came into English with a sense of blue or green. I mean, it seems like there's nothing else to read when it comes to swarthy. It's very clear on what they mean of what those Germans, those European names look like when they came over here. So that means when the Germans came over here and took over in South America, and also the Spain, they were the first ones to arrive, they're saying. And it seems like when they came over here and took over, like in Puerto Rico areas and shit like that in South America, that they were swarthy. That's what Benjamin Franklin said. So now what, y'all? Now what? Now what? What, big dog?
Like I said, much respect. I came in late, but we could also talk about. Did you hear about the Tulsa, Oklahoman bombing survivors basically being denied a lawsuit, saying they can't sue?
Oh, I didn't know about that.
Yeah, you can look it up real quick, Sister Betsy. You know, these people in Congress, they don't want to do anything for us, no matter what's the narrative. But yeah, look, when you get a minute, look it up. I think it happened a couple days ago.
Let me see.
They denying them any money. You know, the judge basically said is he's not going to allow it, and they got to put in an appeal. It's real crazy, man.
Oklahoma judge. That's the judge in Oklahoma throws out a suit seeking reparations for the Tulsa Race Massacre. An Oklahoma judge has thrown out a lawsuit seeking reparations for the 1921 Tulsa Massacre, dashing an effort to obtain some measure of legal justice by survivors of the deadly racist rampage. Judge Caroline Waugh on Friday dismissed the prejudice with prejudice. The lawsuit trying to force the city and others to make recompense for the destruction of the once thriving black district known as Greenwood.
And that's a story that we can prove. And they still don't want to do anything for us. These people ain't going to do nothing for us, especially a slave story that really didn't happen. Because like I always say, we can prove that we've been reclassified here out of our original status 8 to 11 different times. That's our best argument. They ain't going. They basically denying that judge is denying, rights to something that really happened here in America. It's crazy.
Okay, the lawsuit was brought under Oklahoma's public nuisance law. All right, they brought that. Why did they bring it under the public nuisance law? I mean, I get a little bit of that, but why didn't they add more? And contend that the Tulsa's long history of racial division and tension stemmed from the massacre during which an angry white mob descended on a 35-block area, looting, killing, and burning it to the ground. Beyond those killed, thousands more were left homeless and living in hastily constructed internment camp. But something they left out of this lawsuit. Why didn't they put forth the fact that the government dropped bombs on them? I mean, these looters, they didn't have bombs. There was bombs dropped on these people. So I don't know who wrote the lawsuit. I don't know who drafted it up.
Yeah, I ain't sure either, Sister Betty. All I know, they doing us dirty all around. Congress, the politicians, the historians, everybody, they doing us dirty all around.
Yeah, it's really ugly. And this is why at the beginning of the show, I was, I'm to the point where, that these people are ugly and they're evil. And they're making these horrible decisions and they got to live with it. They're not going to live long. Something tragically will probably happen to them. And we don't have to do nothing to worry about it. Because it's just complete ugly. That's why I say I really see another civil war coming, but a different kind of civil war. Do you see that coming?
Yes, ma'am.
I see a very different kind of civil war coming on North America. Landmass. And hey, Chief Eagle Eye. There's the link. Anybody could join. I really do. I just keep seeing this ugly ass civil war coming again. And this time it's going to be so ugly and so horrible. And it's not going to have anything to do with race. I swear. I think it's going to be the
You're 110% right, Sister Betty, because basically this corporation have did crimes against all people, not just us, but mainly us.
They did this shit in Central and South America too. We can't leave that out. We can't. They did it everywhere. They even did it in Africa. The same people. They colonized in other areas. They did it in India, everywhere. Everywhere. They did it everywhere. Salute Iraq. They did this everywhere. This is why I said that this civil war is really going to be, to me, against, because we're being controlled by a 1%. So it, to me, it's not going to have anything to do with color. It's going to be rich against poor, and it's going to be poor taking them out because it's not that many of them. And it's just probably going to consist of the poor taking out all of their descendants or all of the people that, you know, control this shit for the 1%. It's going to be a very ugly, ugly war.
Hey, Sister Bethany, I'm with you.
I don't even think the fucking 1% is living in this country.
I think it's going to be the people are tired of this corporation / government. You know, people are fed up with this corporation, what they have done to the people, all people, but mainly us. That's what I think is going to be, me personally.
This is why I pose that question. What does first? The first shall be last, and the last shall be first. These people are going all over the world doing the same shit. And I really believe people are really getting tired of them. I think people around the world are getting tired of them. It's like we're probably the last of the Mohegans to take out like all other people are doing. It's just crazy. It's crazy. It's fucking insane. And I really believe that it's gonna boil down to rich against poor. And I think the poor, because we outnumber the rich. Do we not? Poor
Yes,
has, yeah,
Sister
because
Bethany, and also, you know, they've been
poor has
lying
no
and telling
color.
us, we're the minority when we know we the majority. But some people
Well,
want to continue believing their lies and their propaganda. But we are the majority of America.
I I have such strong reason to believe that when we say we're the majority, we're talking about class. The poor class is the majority. Because it's the poor class
Yes, ma'am.
that takes care of the rich. Poor has no color. So I think the poor is literally going to wipe out all over the world. The poor is going to wipe out the empowerers of each land, wipe them out, and we start a fresh one that'll be real, very real. So when I look at first shall be last and last shall be first, I'm saying that I see the poor taking out these evil people that are overpowering us and that are keeping us in poverty. The poor. I think the poor is going to come together and take them all out. I do. The poor is going to wipe them out because everything they do is ugly. And they're doing it to everybody. They don't care who they're doing it to. It's not just us. And it never has been just us, melanated people here in North American landmass, that they have imposed harsh brutality and everything on. So I think the poor is the majority, and the majority will win in war. You can't control a people but for so long. Let's see what that is. What is
It might
that?
have been me, Sister Betty. I text you something and emailed you something.
Let me see. I'm gonna see if I can forward this to myself. Is that an email?
Check your emails. I sent it to your email also. I sent
Okay.
it to you through a text, and then I sent it to you through an email. Wanted to know what you think about that, Sister Bethany. And shout out to everybody in the house. Make sure y'all like, share, and please subscribe and support. We building and growing and supporting each other over here, man. Much respect to everybody. Go ahead,
Oh, I
Sister
got
Bethany.
it. Download it. Let me download it and open it up. Oh wow. Oh, I'll put this up as a what's your name? Give me a minute and I'll put it up. I'm
Yes,
screenshotting.
ma'am.
All right, now let me save it. Okay. Save. What is this? B. Okay, here it is. Pulling it up right now. Okay, this is what Big Dog just sent me. A citizen of the United States is a civilly dead entity operating as a co-trustee and co-beneficiary of the public charitable trust. The construction says to trust of the U.S. Inc. under the 14th Amendment, which upholds the debt of the USA and U.S. Inc. Congressional Record, June 13th, 1967.
Yeah, I wanted to know what you think about that and what the chat thinks about that. You know,
It's
that's
very
why I sent you that information.
it's very interesting. I know about public charitable trust. Congressional Record. I'm going to go and look up the Congressional Record from 1967. I'm going to go look it up.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm going to go look up and see where it came from.
What y'all think about that in the chat? Shout out to everybody in the house. Much respect.
Interesting. I was like, these boys are scared to come up here. Don't be scared. There's the link. It's right there. And where'd you get that from? The Congressional Record, or did somebody give it to you? Let me see. June 13th, 1967. Let me look it up. Let me look it up. Let me see. Trying to. Oh God. PP. Okay. 15641. 15461. No. 15641. 15641. Oh, I wrote it. 15641. And 15646.
And I was going to also ask, could you after a little later, can you what you just did to that other word? Can you check that word,
Which word?
citizen? The definition is the etymology of
See
citizen.
Moses. See Moses. Let me see your face first. I want to make sure you're a human being and not somebody that's gonna come up and
Yeah, I know a P Moses. I don't know C Moses, Sister Betty. Be
can
careful.
yeah, can you turn your camera on for 1 second? See Moses. Can you turn your camera on? Nobody can see you but me. I can't let you on unless you show your face, see Moses. Sorry. If you turn your camera on, I can let you on. Oh well, he must be a flasher.
Yeah, be careful with that one, Sister Betty.
Yeah. So I'm looking up I 1967 congressional record. Uh um um I'm looking this up right now.
And I meant to send you that a couple days ago, Sister Betty. I sent it
Yeah,
to a bunch of people.
I'm back here now. I'm looking to see who wrote this.
Got much respect to everybody, much love and respect to everybody in the house. Grand Rising. Shout out to Mom.
Okay, this comes from
Keep it.
Fam. This comes from Fam Guardian. Fam Guardian.
And that's what this corporation have done to us.
Okay. Somebody wrote this. It didn't actually. Let me see. Oh, hold up. War, face of the earth. Amendment, Congressional Record House. The amendment, Equal Protection Law, or 2 of assertion prior speaker. I asked the speaker. I'm not seeing it here. What it's stating here is somebody was trying to come up and porn about me. 14th Amendment. Okay, this is coming from out of 13th. This is
Yeah,
coming
shout out my
from.
brother D. Allen Warren. Go ahead, Sister Betty.
It's coming out of mine. See, it's. You see, I just found it. It's a couple. Yeah, that probably was a porn bomber. Give me a.
Yes,
Oh,
ma'am.
okay.
That's why I was saying be careful.
He said, give me a second. Okay. He didn't have to turn his camera on when he get on the panel, just real quick while he was in the back. But
What was
uh,
the name? What's the name, Sister Betty?
C Moses, and I just want to make
Don't let
sure.
them up. I don't know no C Moses in the community. I know a P Moses, and he good people. But don't let no C Moses up if you can hear me.
Oh, I can hear you. So this is what I found. Look, here's what I found, big dog.
Yes, ma'am.
With that, see, out of mind. Somebody wrote this. This is out of mind, the insanity of reality, governments and the new world order. Congressional report, the congressional record, June 13th. I want to see who these people are.
Yeah, I think I got it off the website of Robots and Patriots.
There you go. Yeah, these people are
Yeah,
the
Robots
congressional
and
record.
Patriots, where I got it off. It's a YouTube channel.
Yeah, but this is literally on YouTube, and it's stating what you said. The congressional record, June 13th, 1967. Same numbers. The congressional record, June 13th, 1967. A citizen of the United States is a civilly dead entity operating as a co-trustee and co-beneficiary of the PCT, Public Charity Trust. That's what that means. The private constructive Sestu Trust of U.S. Inc. under the 14th Amendment, which upholds the debt of the USA and U.S. Inc. in Section 4. The United States was and is bankrupt and in receivership. Thus, claimants' claim of corporate insolvency. 3.2a. A citizen of the United States is civilly dead and cannot become a real party in interest to any action. Number 4.3. A 14th Amendment citizen is a U.S. citizen. And point number 4. Claimant is not a U.S. citizen, nor is claimant a 14th Amendment citizen. Claimant is a grantee and receiver of the sovereignty as a joint tenant in common in the sovereignty and claims interest in all funds and trusts accrued from every aspect, category, and legal entity in the nature of vested interest from claimants' own and claimants' lineal ancestry, property, and pledges for and in the insolvent U.S. corporation, its agents, agencies, and subordinate. So I want to see who these people are. That's what I'm trying to get. Free forum. I'm trying to see who these people are. Home. Out of mind. Breaking news, hot points. I don't know who this is. It's not saying who these people are. All kinds of people write stuff. But when I went to go and look for a congressional record, it wasn't allowing me to see. It wasn't allowing me to see. So I
Yeah,
don't
I
know.
got you.
So I have to look into it more. You just gave it to me. So I'm going to go and look at it. I'm going to go
Yes,
and
ma'am. Look at it. I'm
law.
glad I
I'm
sent
gonna
it
go in
over
my
to you.
law. I'm gonna go in my law library and look this shit up. So good. I sent it to myself so that I could look it up tonight. Here's the website that I was looking at. Copy. That's where it led me to something like that. Paste. So nobody else wants to come on the panel and talk about Huru. Hit the link. Who is the first and who is the last? That was the website I was on. It's right there. So I'm going to close out. Y'all asses don't want to talk today. Call of Duty Modern Warfare.
Hey, thanks for letting me on, Sister Betty. Much respect to you. Much love and respect to everybody in the chat. Graham Rising.
Much love and respect to you too. I'm tuned in. They let's see. They fear truth. News TV. Okay, you're tuned in. Okay. Well, you didn't hit the panel. There's the link. I'll put the link in the chat. I mean, what do y'all think of that? That's wild, right? Now, if Benjamin Franklin is writing this, he is literally he's a diplomat. This is a diplomat. This is like primary source. Hey, 357 freaking hit the link. This is like primary source. What are your thoughts? So if it's a little bit of them, I mean, really, it's still a little bit of them, and we're just being fooled like it's a lot of them. All I want to know is where they came from. If he's talking, and even back then, they were like having the power in 1751. So how is a little bit of them gonna have all this fucking power? It's kind of confusing, y'all. I mean, it's really literally confusing. Something's not right, and I'm gonna keep reading that shit until I get it. Literally, Benjamin Franklin. That's to me, y'all. That's a literally a fucking ball buster. This is a fucking ball buster for this primary source information. Something. Even DJ, where is your ass at? Where the hell are you, DJ? They're like the whole fucking world is tawny and swirly. The whole world. With a little bit of white people. So all I ask is, where did they come from? If the whole fucking world is tawny and swarthy, all right? Literally. Swarthy complexion, the Germans, if all these people are freaking swarthy, which is dark, then what the hell? What happened to them? They still got to be here. Where the hell are they? Serious. This is a ball buster. You can't make this shit up. So, if all these people are running the world, it makes no sense to me right now. They're just saying, he's saying, at 1751, he was saying that fucking that the number of pure white people in the world is small. And the world. And he's saying that the Saxons and the English make the principal body of white people on the face of the damn earth. Make this make sense, y'all. Could the swarthy people... That's a good question, Lies Unplugged. That's a very good question. Could the swarthy... That is a damn good question. Could the swarthy people that came from Europe and Spain adopted the real Indians' identity? I have to say, probably. That's a good question, because you got to ask yourself, all right, these are people that, all right, if these are the people who came over here, like Europe, Spain, Germany, and all this shit, right? And they're supposed to be all these swarthy people, right? And look at the wars we were having. And they turned around and put, when we was warring, wait a fucking minute. See, hold up, y'all. Hold up. Let's back up a minute. And I'm going to leave your question up. Hold up, y'all. Hold the fuck up. Wait a minute. 1751. The Germans, the Europe, Italy, the French, all of them are fucking swarthy people. We had the Civil War. We had the Revolutionary War. That was in 1776. That was only 20 years before Benjamin Franklin wrote this shit. Well, not even 20, because it was in 1751. 51, 61, 71. Well, I'd say like 20 years. All right, wait a minute. Hold up. We have the Revolutionary War. Okay. That's in the 1700s. 17. Now, if you're fucking warring the Germans, all these people that they're saying swarthy, the French and all this shit, right? Are these the same people that push the Indians out in Barbados and all these other parts of the islands, the British islands? God, this is some real shit to think about. They had to. If that's the case, and we got slavery going on over here, okay, the Indians were enslaved. Were they enslaved by these black people, these Germans, these Russians, these Spaniards that are all swarthy people? We're talking about, we literally had wars during these times in 1750s. We had wars. So there's like black Germans and black Italians and all these black people. And we can't forget about the wars, the Indians. The Indians were being taken and burned down by these same fucking people that were over here. Y'all, do y'all hear what I'm saying? Give me a 1 if you hear what I'm saying. We also had, let's just look at this shit. Hold up, let me take this down. This shit is like really freaking me out. Hold up. We can't never forget about this. Now look at these damn years. Look at these years. Great Britain and Americas from 1607 to 1783. Germans. Now think about all those swarthy people, swarthy Europeans, the French. Because look at 1754, the French and Indian War. So the French were fucking swarthy men fighting with the Indians. Do y'all see this shit now? And look at the Revolutionary War. These were swarthy people fighting, swarthy Europeans fighting. And then you got the ratifications of the Indian territories becoming states and shit. Still swarthy people. Y'all see this. Look at these dates and look at the time Benjamin Franklin was writing about all the swarthy people. We're in the 1700s right here. The main swarthy Europeans. Even during this goddamn time. 1700s, Scots, Great Lake Snake. Swarthy people. Do y'all understand? Please give me a 1 if y'all now see what I mean. All these swarthy people there were swarthy people in all these wars back then. Fighting the Indians. So if that's the case, these swarthy people were supposed to be the ones that so-called enslaved on farms, enslaving people. Look at when they took over South Carolina. 1700. Swarthy fucking people. God damn it. Well, I'll be goddamn. Are y'all woke? Throw some eyes in the chat. Give me some damn eyes, because this shit is freaking me out. It was all swarthy people fighting. All swarthy people. And they were fighting the Indians. And the Indians look like us. Because that's what Benjamin Franklin said in the America's holy soul. That's all that was here was Indians. We had governors and everything. So it was swarthy. Some swarthy motherfuckers fighting us. I can't even sit in my damn seat straight, y'all. I can't sit in my seat straight. I just showed you. Benjamin Franklin wrote this shit in 1751. It's his notes, primary notes. And all these fucking swarthy people. Swarthy. Look at this shit, y'all. This is why I write this shit. And this is why I go back. And this is why we got to file the goddamn lawsuit, y'all. I can't wait. And I've been had this. I'm just bringing out little stuff. Little stuff. I can't say every little thing. But I always have to put out a hot topic. Do you got man? Listen, y'all. This is some real shit. Uh-oh. The president's son. I gotta see your face, baby. Just turn it on just quickly. Okay, you can turn it off now. You can turn it off now. I don't want, Hi. So, wait a minute. Let me pull this up now. Hold on a minute.
I was listening to what you were just saying.
Oh, ain't that some shit?
about the swirly people. My question is, what are we gonna do to take it back? It's clear that they took it, so now what we gonna do to take it back? We gonna keep holding protests and marches and rallies, or we gonna put some actions and real physical force behind what we say we want?
I think that's a good. This is why I keep saying it's going to be a horrible, another horrible civil war. That's what it's gonna take. These niggas got to wake up right here. But I'm just saying though, did you see that? What I showed right here? This is in 1751.
I can see it, but I can't. The word is small. I see some word. I think I'm getting old. I need me some readers.
You and me both. We the same age. So he's saying this. This is Benjamin Franklin's notes. And I already read who Benjamin Franklin was. Everybody knows he was a politician. He was into everything. He was even one of the drafters of this Constitution. And he wrote this in 1751. He said, let me see. He says that the number of purely white people in the world is proportionally very small. All Africa is black or tawny. Asia is chiefly tawny. America, exclusive of the newcomers, wholly so. Like the whole goddamn America is black or tawny. And in Europe, the Spaniards, the Italians, the French, the Russians, the Swedish are generally all what we call a swarthy complexions, as are the Germans also. The Saxons only accepted who, with the English, make up the principal body of white people on the face of the earth. I could wish their numbers were. So if he's writing this in 1751, right? And then you go, this is in 1751, before they, like 20 or 30 years before 20 years before they made the Constitution. And then you have to really look at this shit. You're looking at when the Spanish invaded, they were tawny, black and tawny. Because look at the year that Spain invaded. Britain, black and tawny. The French and Indian War, that was tawny and black people fighting against tawny and black people. That was in 1754, right there where Benjamin Franklin asked. And then the Revolutionary War was tawny and black people fighting against tawny and black people. And then when the Indian territories became states, look at that. 17, all these tawny and black people fighting against each other, including the Indians.
So the whole concept of what they did.
So since we're not in power, these black tawny people took us out of power. And so we got to beat their ass. So who are they?
It's easy to determine those that are white by the color of their eyes. No one from our nationality, when I say nationality, meaning our skin tone, have gray eyes, green eyes, or blue eyes. Everybody that's from our skin tone gonna have light brown eyes, dark brown eyes, or brown eyes, or whatever the color. You would never catch someone that's from our bloodline with white, green, or gray eyes. God said you'll be able to tell many things by the eyes. People didn't know what
Right.
that means. The soul of the eyes, the eyes are the window to the soul. So
Right. Well, we know that, Rico, what's going over your head is all these wars right here was black and tawny people fighting against black and tawny people. If
that
you
don't
look
catch me
at
as
the
a
year,
surprise because it's still going on right now today. So that don't
right,
catch me as no surprise. We are our biggest oppression. We are our biggest enemy, and we always have been. It's a handful of people that sit back and illustrate millions and millions and millions and millions of us across the globe. How do they do that there? It's a simple way on how they do that there because we fail to know, want to learn the knowledge, and we lack fear to stand even when we know that knowledge. So what is left for them to do? Rule us. You can only rule those in fear. You can't rule those that are not in fear.
okay. But what I'm saying to this audience, Rico, this is some real shit. We need to find out who those fucking black and tawny people was that we was fighting. All the black Germans, where their asses at. All the French, all them, because this is who we're fighting. Black and tawny people. The War of 1812. All these black and tawny people that, okay, you have the Spanish, then you got Britain, which consists of the European nations, Ireland. All these people are tawny and black. The French. This is who we're warring with. The Revolutionary War, we was fighting black or tawny people as Indians. And then look at the Indian Removal Act. We were fighting black or tawny people. This shit is insane. So now we need to find out who are these black or tawny people. See, Moses, you got to turn your camera on, baby.
So how do you go about finding out who are the people you talking about?
Oh, okay. All right, baby, you can turn it off. All right. This is who took us out. Because he's saying, he literally said all those people in this era. I just read it to you. In 1751, he was explaining the races across this whole world, and said how small of a group they are. He said the Spanish were black and tawny, and the German, and the Italian, and the French, and the Germans were all black and tawny people. So if that's the case, we're looking in the same years that he wrote this. The French and Indian War consisted of black and tawny people. He wrote this in 1751. So the French and Indian War started in 1751, 1754. So
how do we know?
Who are these black and tawny people?
How do we know what, just like they lied to us about all other history, how do we know what he wrote in 1751 is actual facts?
Because it is true. It is a fact.
No. I'm not saying that it's not. I'm saying, like, just like they lied to us about Christopher Columbus, they lied to us about slave ships, they lied to us about this, they lied to us about the first president was white when the first president was black. How can we trust at this point? How can we trust anything that they have documented?
Well, I guess I could say that too, but the shit is real. And you know why I say it's the truth? And why it sticks to the truth? Because of the simple fact that they're continuing doing what he said that they were going to do. Bringing over white versions of Germans, Russians. They started coming in the late 1800s, the white ones. That's why he kept saying, why do we need to be bringing, I'll just pull it up. I'll keep pulling it up. This is what makes me know it to be true. Now, where did it go? Damn it. Shit. Oh, here it is. Now, where the hell you go, Benjamin Franklin? I just had it up. Oh, here it is. All right. He said, why should we in the sight, and it's highlighted down here at the bottom, why should we in the sight of superior beings darken his people? Meaning, why should we keep bringing over more of these tawny black? Why can't we start bringing over people that look like us, white people? And they did eventually, after all the wars were over. That's when they started bringing in more people that look more like them, white. Now you see what I mean? And this is why I said it's true, because that's all pretty much that they're bringing over here now. That's why I said it's true. They was tired of seeing all these niggas, and they wanted to bring more people over that look like them. And they started doing that in the late 1800s. So now what's really just freaking me out, us being the aboriginals of the Americas, is the fact that all this time we're thinking that we're fighting white people. During the Spanish invasion, during the Great Britain, when Great Britain was doing business with us as aboriginals, when the French and Indian War came out, all this time, the whole world is taught in education that we've been fighting pale-faced people that look like Trump in all those wars that are listed here, when it was these black or tawny people. This is so I asked the audience to give me a 1 if you see what I mean, just based on looking at this timeline. Give me a 1.
If I could just add to that.
Oh, sure. Go ahead.
So I would be interested to know what the next, what's this? This covering like 16, the next 150 years, if you were to look at it like this, how would that be categorized? Like important events from 1900 to 1960 or 1960 to 1980. and then the 90s, and then the 2010s when you're looking at it with this lens. There's a few reasons why I'm bringing it up. And one, Sister Bethy, I know that you know the Connecticut landscape pretty well. And I was having a conversation with my folks about when Connecticut, or specifically Hartford, took its turn. And they're saying late 80s, early 90s, when a lot of the Jamaicans and Caribbeans were infiltrated. I'm not saying it was a war, but it was a decade or a couple decades where the whole demographic, everything changed. And then the culture changed, the minds of the people changed. And then the reason I had came up, it's blocking the screen now, but the other person on the panel had said, what are we going to do about it? I think the answer is to really just start living as if it's your land again. Start growing your own food. Start moving as if this is your land, because that was how you moved at one point. And then other people started to confuse you, just speaking theoretically now, confuse you into thinking you're from somewhere else. And now you don't even know, you don't move with that same sense of ownership of this is mine. I got to take care of this. I got to build this. If I don't do it, who will? And then we're looking at who will.
That's the mindset I have too.
He exactly right though, Sister Becky, because that sums up what I had just said when I say the lack of fear. Fear and the lack of knowledge. If we ain't got those two, then we'll never move like this all on, like this was ours already. We'll never move long as we don't possess the knowledge and possess that courage that it takes to move that way. And that's the main problem with it is today. How did they dumbfound us like this? I'm gonna tell you how they dumbfound us like this here. When they dumbfound us like this right here, they put all form of distractions in your face. So now you worry about how beautiful you are, what your clothes look like, what kind of car you drive, what kind of house you drive, how much you pay for your hairdo, about this rapper, this singer, this, that, and that. And you forgot all about growing food, but you started complaining about the prices, but you won't go in your backyard and make a garden, so you ain't got to go buy potatoes. You got to start from somewhere. So as long as we don't have that knowledge, or we don't seek to have that knowledge, as long as we don't fight to have that courage to be free, we're going to forever be stuck in this same hole. And now we also got to understand that it's only going to be a handful of us that's going to push with this movement. 90% of the society has already been brainwashed. They have already picked, and they are cool and content with whatever they see going on because they feel like it has no affections on their personal family. But little do they know, everything that is done affects you and your family. When the price of a bottle of water go up, that affects you and your family.
Facts.
I agree. The only thing I would add, I don't want to say I disagree, but when you talk about like food or looking good, like clothes and stuff, that's a part of our culture too. We just we want to have our stuff together. It's just the way you move like that. It's not either or. You could do it all. That's who we are. That's why we are kind of flashy, but that's just when you put the price of it, like buying foreign cars, that stuff, it gets ridiculous. But I'm just saying, like having your hair done, looking the part, like that's our culture.
It's always been our custom and culture.
It's always been our culture to look good. But fast forward to now, that's all we want to do is look good.
True.
You see what I'm saying? So right about now, clothes and how you look and how good you have, that's irrelevant when these people trying to destroy us and get us out of here.
Well, let's keep going because we're building here, but it's not that it's irrelevant, because what we're trying to do is we're trying to get back to, or we're trying to remember who we truly are. So that's why I don't want you to, that's why it's hard to hear that it's irrelevant, especially when we're talking about reaching the younger demographic or the people who are like brainwashed, because they're not really brainwashed. They just got entangled in that to think that's number one. That's a byproduct. If you're eating right, you're gonna look good. If you're thinking right, your clothes gonna be matching. If you're a part of these people. Now, I don't want to call any other culture out, but some cultures, no matter what they do, they just don't got it. They don't have that soul, that they don't have that awareness of how to dance, how to do some of the things that's just so natural to us. So they come together. If you are, like I said, if you are growing your own food, you're going to be healthy, you're going to feel good, you're going to think good, you're going to be moving in that way, so you don't have to pick and choose. I'm either going to have my outfit clean or I'm going to grow food. You can do both.
Yeah, you could do both, but you can definitely do both. But what I'm saying at this present point in time, because of what you just stated, I'm gonna go back to what you stated. You stated if your belly full and you're full, you're gonna dress good. So that's the main goal right now. The clothes come afterwards. The looking good come afterwards. The hairdo come afterwards. If your stomach touching your ribs, you might want to try to eat a pair of your socks to fulfill your hunger in your stomach. So therefore, clothes are irrelevant at this point in time. Because why? You can't feed yourself. Why? You can't. You don't even have a cotton factory. I ain't saying you. I'm just saying like us as a whole, the society. We don't have a cotton factory. We don't have a water source. We don't have an electricity source. So we worried about looking good. But if they shut that power grid off, you can't even wash your clothes. You can't even wash all them clothes, them good looking clothes you done went bought. Why? Because you ain't got damn resource to wash them clothes. Now you can go out there in the water and wash them and this, that, and that. But I'm just saying like modern day right now. We don't have none of that. So we worry about clothes, shoes, because that makes us feel good, but yet we still starving without no resources to provide for our future generations. What our future generation gonna eat off of? Looking good in clothes? They need food. They need health care. They need houses. They need education. Those are the important things. Material things gonna always come.
Well, this is indeed, everything you said is true, but now, not that I'm, trying to move the goalposts, but this is why I said that it's gonna be a war of, if they were to cut that grid off, they're not only going to affect us, they're going to affect other people too. And this is why I said that at some point we're going to wise up and stop thinking about color and look at who is being affected by the wrongs of these governments. And we, no matter what the hell our color is, will think wise this time and say, look, it has nothing to do with fucking melanin at this point. We're all being affected. So we need to come together and take these and power out. Fuck color. And then we can continue. We can all live off our lands, no matter what color we are. Or we can keep things going, but get the ones that's always threatening those kind of things towards us, like cutting off the grid, like stopping or making laws about how much damn food you can grow in your damn land. It's because they're all mad because people are growing more food on their land than they're going to the grocery stores, So that's going to be the point where we as people, no matter what our damn color is, it's going to have to wise up and overthrow these bitches. That's going to be throwing these kind of things against us.
Hold on now. Look at she smiling because she know what I'm gonna say.
I'm just not saying, I'm not trying to.
Hold up now. I thought we were somewhere in a personal counseling meeting one day.
Okay, I'm sorry. I mean, but I'm just saying. But don't you think that, Moses, that if they cut off the grid like that, it's going to affect everybody?
I do, but I think that if and when that does happen, that means that we are winning. So we're already doing it. There's a lot of people that are starting to grow like a tomato plant or we're just getting going. People are coming online, they're having these conversations, like literally and spiritually.
I agree. But the politicians are trying to put laws on how much food we can grow in our own land.
Exactly. Some
states are putting limitations on what we can grow.
The whole point of that is because it's like if you have no land, or if you can be regulated on what you can do on your own land, then they can still control it. The only way how they do that is with fear and force. So
Right.
this is why they feel true federal government was created. So when we start doing these things, we will have a power structures that will be able to protect the people and the resources that we are getting. You see what I'm saying? Because anytime you start taking, anytime a group of people take upon themselves to start creating and being independent for themselves, you become a threat to the establishment, because the establishment wants you enslaved. The establishment wants you to constantly spend with them to keep them rich while you're steady staying broke. Now, if we was growing our own food, we wouldn't have to go spend $2, $3, $4, $5, $6, $700 at the grocery store a month. We can go out there and butcher our own cow, our own pig, go out there and pick our own tomatoes, our own. If we had electric engineers that knew frequency, then we wouldn't need the electricity grid. So whenever they shut their grid off, we wouldn't be in threat, because this is what we got to do. This is the only way to come from up under the oppression of the prior establishment, is to build and create our own establishment. As long as they control and create, long as they control the establishment, we will always be oppressed. So we ain't got no power grids, no water sources, no food sources, no medical sources, then we are always at their submission. Why we're always at their submission? Not because we want to be at their submission, because we can't get what we need without them. You see what I'm saying? So we got to come together, like Sister Becky said, no matter what color you is, it all affects us. They got a whole political system that consists of every different type of person you can think of in this world. And guess what? They all got one agenda: to keep you enslaved, while we all got an agenda to beef with one another. We don't even know how to go on YouTube stations and hold a decent conversation that's going to build an intellect that will be able to further our people. You know what I'm saying? We can't even do that. If one person say something that's that they don't agree with, it becomes an argument till you want to pull up. How can we ever become independent if we still stuck in that mind frame?
Right. We have some very immature adults. I have to honestly say that. And these are the dialogues that I be trying to keep on my channel, because this is something very interesting. And when we act like this, other races tend to be reluctant to come to our panels, because my question is, okay, it's really, really not a melanated thing. Yes, we have been harmed. Our shit's been taken from us. We've been overpowered. Yeah, that's all true. But when it comes to stopping the grid, say like I live on 2 acres of land, and my next door neighbor lives on 2 acres of land. And we were told that we could only use a 1/4 acre to grow food, specific foods, right? And if I decide to say, fuck that, I'm going to grow what I want on a whole acre, and my white neighbor does the same thing, are they going to come and is the militia going to come and burn my crops up, or just my crops? Or are they going to burn my neighbor's crops up? Because my neighbors said the same thing I said, and they're white, and they said, oh, fuck that, I'm going to grow what I want on a whole acre of land. I'm not just using a 1/4 of an acre.
Right.
Is the militia going to come and burn mine and not burn theirs? I don't think so. So at that point, we got to start thinking intelligently.
100%. And that's why I didn't know where that question was coming from. Like, it seemed like you were, when you said that the government is trying to stop people from doing things on their own land.
Yeah,
in my mind, I'm saying they wouldn't do that. They wouldn't be able to do that. But in your world, they actually are doing that, which shows you're already going to the degree to push them to even come out of their mouth to say that, they know we are building. They know that we are growing. They know that we are expanding our consciousness to see through their lies. The same way that they tried to do what they did in 2020 with how you categorize what happened and the shot on your channel. But they told a lot of people one thing, and then people just started saying, no, I'm not doing that, or I'm not. And they realize, I don't have to listen to you. So as the people realize the people have the power, we the people have the power.
Right.
Not to say, I was gonna say we vote them in, but the voting thing is another thing we're getting ready to get back because we started to realize that a lot of people already knew, but it's now just almost like a normal way of thinking. Like, yeah, that is not real.
Yeah.
I'm saying as more people get hold of the power, and then we start saying no if we don't think that the answer should be yes, we start realizing, well, why am I listening to you?
Right.
And we start doing things amongst each other. You start talking with your neighbor. Now you're building a community where you guys may have not had that conversation before the government tried to intervene, but what they really are doing is forging you to get with your neighbor to say, all right, it's on us. We need to do this. So it's like it works on itself. That's why the way the spiritual stuff is like, it's deep, because there's, as much as they try to fake do whatever they're doing, it only makes us realize who we are and what the solution really is.
Correct.
You know, the reason that they you know how they rule so strong and so swiftly? Because they willing to die to enforce their agenda. We not willing to die to enforce ours.
Correct.
So like when we go grow this, like he was just saying, like I heard him say, like he can tell, he said that he's not, his culture is him or his culture, whatever it was, they not experiencing that, but he can tell you done already experienced that because you speaking about it. Okay, so he said that I'm gonna do this here, this, that, and that. Yeah, we can do exactly what we want, but are we willing to die for what we do? Because they willing to die to stop us from doing what we do.
With
so
the militia.
So it comes to this right here. How many people are really for real about what they talk about? Or do they just talk? Are you really about dying for what you stand for? Because that's the only way that you're going to get this real change that you're seeking to get. It's no other way around this. Because why is no other way around this, Enrico? I'm going to paint a primary clear picture for you. Just take Black Wall Street. We had everything that we needed. One thing was lied about, and they came in and burnt it down to the ground. Why did nobody stand and fight? Because didn't nobody want to die, but a lot still died. So how many of us got the heart to be ready to die for a change that we seek? This is how they rule with an iron fist, because they are willing to kill and die to enforce their agenda upon the masses. But the masses not willing to die to get what they seek. The masses just want to protest. The masses just want to stand in front of a courthouse and you know, this, that, and other, whatever the case may be. And they know this right here. Why do you think they tell you in your First Amendment, protest, you have the freedom to protest peacefully, but they ain't giving you no peace. They killed 2-3 of you while you in that protest. They hit you upside a billy club while you in that protest, protesting peacefully. How many times have this been shown across the news stations, across the United States of America? You steady telling us to protest peacefully, but you steady killing us and beating us and taking our land and taking our wealth and steady enslaving us like we supposed to be okay with it. So they looking at us like, y'all got to be okay with it. You ain't willing to stand up and die for this, see? Soon as we come with a little pressure, you fold. So you don't deserve to be, this is what they saying. So you don't deserve to be able to call your own actions, control your own life. You need a babysitter because you fear to do this right here.
I think it's a little more complicated because of fiat currency. And I'm like hesitant to really just lay that out but the money and the way that we became dependent on money, getting money over the things that we need in life, added to the confusion. Because a lot of people, it's not that we're passionate people at our core. So it's not that we are afraid to fight for something or to die for something or to live for something. It's just, we just don't know what that is. So we were chasing money for so long and chasing an image for so long, not realizing that that money isn't even backed by anything that's real anymore. They print it. So you're showing off that money, you're showing off something fake. So that can't be the core of any hood, any culture, anything. That's what I'm saying. So it's like, it's chess. Because they played that on us. They started to say, oh, worship money, blah, blah, blah.
The only real wealth is resources, land, farm, gas, water. Right. Nothing else has any value. Cars, clothes, none of that has any value. Right. That's the only real wealth is resources. Why do you think the establishment never asks you for wealth? They don't ask you for no money unless they're running campaigns. Why? Why do you think they go and take land? It's called intimate domain, where the government can go and take your land if it's private, and then say we're gonna use it for public use, and we're gonna pay you for this land that we use. So they basically just took your land. How do somebody take something from you if you got the heart to stand and fight for it? Well, you got to fight them in the legal system. They own the legal system. So how you gonna keep playing their game with the legal system? Every time you figure out a way how to get out of it, they're gonna figure out a way how to put a law to stop you from getting out of it. So at some point, you're gonna have to be ready to stand and fight. So you just heard Sister Becky say she owned land, her neighbor owned land, but they trying to regulate the land that they own. It's their land. They own it. So at some point, you got to be willing to stand up and fight.
Or call their bluff. I think it's about calling the bluff.
I don't
think legally or whatever, they have the right to tell Sister Bethany what she can do on this land. I think they're saying they do.
They don't have the right. They don't have the right.
Exactly. So that's what I'm saying. It's calling their bluff. Then they're saying, oh, shit, they know who they are, or they know the rules. They know the system. And then we call their bluff, and then they put their hand out and they realize they don't have, there's nothing backing those.
Okay, so now when you call a bluff, check this out. Just pay attention to what I'm saying. You call a bluff. Now you trying to call a bluff, and they know you trying to call a bluff. So now they finna go a step higher. They finna raise them guns up. How far you willing to go? You still want to play bluff game, or you ready to go to war now? Because it's true, you can call a bluff, but you don't think that they're gonna stand behind that bluff. You don't think they're gonna put a little bit more force because they know they bluffing, and they know that you know that they bluffing. So now it becomes a force thing. Now, do you got the heart to stand for what you want now?
But do you think that if all the militias, right, see that the majority of the people are not cooperating with the government for real reasons, okay, and they have families too, such as, and we're just using this little case scenario where we the people, no matter what shade we are, what zip code we live in, we the people get fed up with them telling us that we can't grow food on our land. Do you think at that point, when the army general or the militias are going to stand up and say, you're wrong, and they take the side of the people because they are there to protect us too? But do you think at some point that the militia would be like, no, we're not on your side. We're going to stand behind the people. They can grow what the hell they want on their lands. Do you think that'll ever happen?
I think that only those that are led by God will break away from that. The rest, all they're going to have to do is tell them, we're going to up your pay to this. We're going to do this for you. We're going to give y'all this benefit. And guess what? The masses are sold out.
So you think that the army will say, okay, fuck that. I'll take the money. I am going to fight. I will fight my family to
death. This is what I think.
Just for this
think that 90% of the United States military, if they was told to round everybody up that was doing it, they going to do it. This is why the Bible and everything across the globe know fully about one world government.
Well, we know about the doctrine of discovery, but I mean, those are our sons and daughters in that army. Do you think that, I mean,
it's gonna be sons?
What mindset what mindset do you think that they'll be in? Now, I know our army men are brainwashed and trained
It's
to
gonna
serve their country, and
it's gonna
the
be some that's gonna pick their country over their family. It's gonna be many heartbroken people. When this time comes, it's gonna be many heartbreaking people that thought that their kids or their mama or daddy would choose them, but they chose that money. It's gonna be a lot of heartbreaking people. It's gonna be a lot of heartbroken people that's gonna find out that.
You're going back to money.
See
And
what
Yeah,
I'm
I'm saying?
saying
I'm
if
going back to
you
money because of the question that she asked about the military. She asked, "Do I think that if the military, would the military
right.
not stand?" That's why I brought it back to money, and I
No, I
said
know,
that
but how I want to pose it is you're basically saying people will choose money
exactly.
over
Exactly. People gonna choose money because you know
Oh
why?
no.
Because money has been in play for so long, and you have so many. And why do you think so many people die today? They die for
but,
money. People out there
but
selling dope trying to get money. People out there working 18, 20 hours a day, causing stress on their body and all these things trying to get money. People doing all people
but
selling
why?
cat.
Why though?
Hold on, let me get to it. People selling cat to get money. People selling this, whatever whatever they selling, they dying trying to survive.
Okay,
Because why?
survival.
Why? Because you have no resources.
So, but money is not resources. Money is a
I
paper.
you know you missed the point. I say they are doing these things because they have. You ask me, you say, why are they doing it? And I gave you a simple answer because
No,
they
I
have
wasn't
no
saying why are
resources.
they doing it. I was saying why are you saying that? Why are they choosing money? Because I'm going
Because
back to
they have no
money.
if you had resources, you had land, oil, gas, water, would you be trying to have money? You got things that you can sell people now
Exactly.
for anything that you want to sell it for. So they are doing these things because you have no resources. You ain't got no cotton factory, so you got to go to Walmart or Kmart to buy your t-shirts down.
So
If you had a cotton factory, you'll go make your own shirts, right?
correct. So you pulled out money and put in the resources though, because those aren't the same.
I'm not under I think you was confused on what was going on just then. I'm gonna bag up and repeat it. You stated, Sister Beckett stated, what do I think about the military if they was to get orders from the executive branch to move in on the people? Do I think that the military remove? I said yes. I said it's only going to be a handful of the military that are still left with God in their heart that's going to stand with the people.
Right.
The
Let me take
rest
it
of
from here,
hold,
if you
hold
don't
on, hold
mind.
on, hold on. The
Okay.
rest of the people that's in the military, they're gonna go on the simple method of this what I'm paid to do. If you're paid to do something, doesn't that involve that fiat money that you're talking about? Okay, so now why do people go do all these things for money? Because they have no resources to provide for themselves. If you had resources to provide for yourself, then you would need no money. Why do you think they keep the resources from you? But second of all, how can you be sold land that was not created by any human being? This is written upon their law. This is written with inside the international um, peace treaty law. You cannot sell something that was made by God. So how are they selling you land then? Because you lack the knowledge to know about this and you lack the heart to stand for it. So they can't sell you a flower that God put here, but they can chop that flower up and add ingredients to it and turn it into a pill, then charge you for it because why? It is now not 100% naturally made. They can charge you for products that they make. They cannot tax you. Why you think politicians don't pay water, don't pay gas, don't pay this? They fly around. Why do you think that? Because they know you cannot be charged for natural resources.
What say you, Huru?
Oh, hey, earlier, I was trying to jump in, but I was actually walking down the street, so my phone was acting all kinds of crazy. But I think what made me want to jump in is when we started talking about what the state will and will not allow. And I think it also relates to what President is saying too, a little bit. And all I want to say is that all of this is only possible because we're in their system. And
what's not being said is that we have a whole status that's it's not that it doesn't exist like I kind of thought. Like I really realized that my journey is making me realize we do have a status because the Constitution is speaking of us. So the thing is, no one is telling us that we're not in the system. So we naturally just fall into it. The state can't tell us what to do. The state can't tell us how much food to grow. If we're in their system as a United States citizen, they can. But if we just basically, it begins with, I feel like it has to be with a group of us just standing up and stating this and living it, like, because I guess one person can do it, but it'll be a little, it'll be much more stronger if it, and it's just a way of saying, look, we're not in your system. You misclassified us and we're not supposed to be in this system. So if you do attack us, it's really going to actually be crimes against, basically indigenous people. Yeah. So it's like we just have there's a whole status that because no one, it's a what they call omission. It not being spoken about gives us the impression that it doesn't exist, but it does, because the Constitution said something about Indians.
See, I want to stop you right. I got to stop you right there because I keep hearing you say the U.S. Constitution.
Yeah,
the U.S. Constitution.
Yeah.
Are you aware that the U.S. Constitution don't apply to you?
Well, it doesn't, because we weren't but we're not.
You breaking up.
I couldn't hear nothing you were saying. You were breaking up bad.
You're breaking up bad. Yeah, you're breaking up real bad, sweetheart. Your mic has never been like that.
Okay, let me see.
Now it sounds right.
Oh, okay.
The reason why I'm gonna state this, then I'm gonna let you reply back to it. I'm stating this because I'm an attorney and I'm a federal international officer with my own federal agency. The United States Constitution don't apply to you or nobody in the 50 American states or anything or any land. The United States Constitution only applies to the District of Columbia, which is the Washington, D.C., and its constituents. Constituents mean it's people of that territory. The American Bill of Rights applies to you. They the same thing. Hold on. They the same. Hold up. They the same thing. No, they're not. The United States Constitution enforces British power and authority and law. The American Bills of Rights forbid any British power or authority on American soil.
I would agree if we didn't have that 14th Amendment. So that 14th Amendment brings everyone in the jurisdiction of the sea. That's why they get to do what they do with us. Mandates. You got to get this shot. See, they pulled us in with they're not here for no reason, brother. They're not just sitting here like counting, sheep. They did all this for a reason. It was to get us.
They tried.
Well, they were quite successful. How many people got the shot? Does anybody have the numbers? Does anyone have the number on how many people in America got the shot?
I'm glad you just said something about the shot. I'm glad you just said something about the shot. Most people don't even know what kind of test you was using, what that test is used for. The COVID-19 test, what test they was detecting to tell you that you was positive for COVID-19? It's called a RT-PCR test. Do you know what that test only detects? You don't know what it detects. Don't believe me. Look up I want you to research RT-PCR test. And when you research RT-PCR test, research HIV viral load and watch what you see. The exact same test. That's the only way to detect HIV is from a RT-PCR test, which they call a polyester chain reaction test. It only detects HIV molecules within the human DNA and leukemia within the blood of human DNA. So why would they be testing an entire population for HIV? But people didn't know this here because why? You failed to read. You just listen at what's told to you and you do what's told to you rather than going to do your own homework and then saying you was misled. No, you was misled because you failed to do your own research.
But my thing is they tried to do that. The whole thing that I don't.
They did do that. It wasn't they tried. They did
try.
do that.
So like the whole, because I'm only speaking from my first person. All these mandates and they made you do this. I didn't do any of it. I just said no. I didn't wear a mask. I'm not trying to use it as a badge of honor, but all I'm saying is you just start to realize I don't have to do this, and then you don't do it. It's as simple as that. So like you could say, oh, you need to do the research and the tests only tested for this. You didn't even have to go that far. All you had to do was realize who you were and where you were. And then you start moving with that type of, hey, I'm in control of this. You're not going to tell me what to do. And you start having control over your path again. That's what I'm saying. They tried to do all this stuff. They tried to get all these numbers. They did not get the numbers that they wanted. They did not get the minds that they wanted. People are waking up every single day to the BS.
When I said it was many people that took the test. Okay, you was 1 out of 100 million that didn't take that shot.
There was a lot of people like me. I was waking people. I was saying, yo, why are we
I'm not saying that. I'm not saying what I'm saying. I didn't take it either. I didn't take it. I didn't wear masks. I don't do none of that there. But what I'm saying is, what about all these other people who just heard, oh, COVID-19, the government said go and do this here, and you didn't even do your own research. So if you didn't take the shot,
you cannot say what about all. Use this population. There's 4 of us people. How many of us took it, or how? It doesn't even matter how you took it. It's just a matter of, did you know you didn't have to do it? And then if it's 75% or 100% of us did not do it, it's us. So why are you, not you personally, but all of our conversations gets wrapped up in the bottom of the people. Those aren't leaders. If we are the leaders, the ones speaking for the awareness of where we are, who we are, what needs to be done, we got to start moving as if this is our land. These are our powers, and start exercising them versus focusing on this subsect of the people that, yes, they're brainwashed. They were brainwashed to that level, but if we also can brainwash them to let them know how much power they have inside of them today.
So that's why you have to network so you can find those like-minded people, because 90% of the people you see right here on earth today are not going to be like-minded with that. So you're going to be looking for a large, huge number when you're not going to get that. You're going to only get that small number, but that small number going to be strong as 100 million people.
Facts.
So people get some things confused because you constantly trying to reach the masses that you already see that are blind. God said you got to let the blind be the blind. He's going to deal with them. Facts. You got to deal with those that want to wake up and that want to move forward. So when I speak, I'm not speaking to that 90%. I'm speaking to that 10%. So I understand that when I talk, sometimes I step on a lot of toes because I'm talking to that 90%. I ain't talking to that 10% because that 10%, they catching on and they standing all across the corner, all across the globe. I'm talking to that 90% and that 90% only. So you have it's a lot of people know that they ain't got to do that there, but do they got the heart to do it? That's the whole point of everything. People don't have the heart. Why? Why don't people have the heart? Because they terrified of the government. So in order to get the people to stand, you got to be willing to die to stand against the government. Because you won't be able to rally the people if the people see that you are afraid yourself. It's going to be impossible to rally them. So that's what I mean by when I say that we got to connect, network, and move forward and do things like that. But yet and still, we still have to go out into the population, into the communities, and get those that are like-minded. And to get those that are like-minded, those you have to be able to give them a vision to see. Not only a vision, you got to be able to get them some physical things to see. Because right now, today, people tired of just talking. Everybody got YouTube. Everybody. The pandemic brought everybody out to YouTube. Everybody got YouTube. No matter if they ain't got but 1 subscriber or 5 million subscribers. Everybody got a YouTube channel. That ain't doing nothing for your people. That's just networking. That's networking so you can find like-minded people. when you start finding them like-minded people, now you got to get into the real revolution where your life on. And that's the part that people's terrified of. So they stick to YouTube. You ain't gonna never have a revolution to be free on YouTube.
Sister Spethy, you said you live on 2 acres, you were growing some food on one, and they told you
No,
what?
I was no. I was giving a scenario. I was
Okay.
giving a scenario. That's all.
So I'm curious to know what premise would the government stand on to say you can't grow this on your land? Like, where does that come from? What's their reason behind it?
The same reason for the Oklahoma prospering, and because the government makes money out of the grocery stores. They want you to go to the grocery stores and get your vegetables because all of the food approved by FDA and shit like that, it gets like pretty deep. So if no one's buying out of the grocery stores, you're now taking away a lot of jobs from across the states, because now they don't need that much shipment of foods because people are growing it, and now you don't need stock people in the stores because nobody's buying it, and things of that nature. So when you have like all communities starting to grow, and there's a lot of people, including our own, that are now growing their foods, their appetites are changing because the foods in the grocery stores are making us sick. So a lot of our people are all over, and I'm thinking it's just here in Connecticut. It's all over. People are getting sick off the foods they sell in the grocery stores. So they're eating more vegetables now, like we did in the old days, versus more of the meats and the poultry and the shit like that. So I use that scenario to say that if if I say I'm not going to use if the government put a demand on us people and say you can only grow a quarter acre of farmland in your home, and me and my neighbor both say no, F you, we're going to grow an acre so we could grow more food. Do you think that the militia is going to just burn down my farm because I'm not cooperating, or are they going to burn me and my neighbors and not give a damn? I don't think color is going to matter.
And it's not. You're so right, Sister
It's
Becky.
not going to matter. They're going to burn both of our damn crops down.
And then that's the point where you
What
got
they
to be
don't
willing
want
to
is the
stand.
people, right? And I'm looking at the reason why I posed the question about, do you think that the government at this time, well, the militia in these days have a different mindset than they had back then? Because if the people see that the majority of the people are not cooperating with the government, is for a damn good reason, they're growing food, and you want us to burn their lawns down, we're not going to do it. We're not going to listen to you. Do you think that possibly might happen? Because I'm looking at other countries when they took down Gaddafi. Remember, they were pulling down the statues and shit like that. The militia didn't do anything to them because the majority of the people, it didn't matter the skin tone, were all in on pulling down those Gaddafi statues and shit. And I didn't see the militia going after those people when they were doing that. It was like a collective effort. So that's why I posed the question that I did.
If we stand together for what we believe in, we're gonna prevail.
That's
But
what I believe. I
if
believe that
we
too.
don't, if we don't stand together, it's like I don't know the name of C Moses, I think. It's like he was saying earlier, like you don't have to do it. Yeah, you are. That's 100%. That's what we trying to teach now. You don't have to do this shit. But when you say you don't have to do something, you got to be willing to take whatever go along with it. How many are willing to take? Okay, we're gonna speak about the food. Say for instance, you see Moses, you got food growing there, all right? The government tell you you can't grow a certain amount of acres, and you say, well, you know what? Fuck that. I'm gonna grow on all my motherfucking acres. And they tell you, well, you grow on all your acres, you're gonna go to jail. Are you gonna be willing to go to jail? Or they tell you we're gonna you growing all your acres, we gonna come take your land. Now you got to be willing to fight. So it goes all the way back down to, are you willing to die for what you stand and fight for? Or you just, or are you, or not you? I'm speaking of people in general.
No, I
Or
want you to speak on me though. That's the only thing. So I'm gonna let you finish the question so I can answer for myself, and then hopefully somebody else can understand that there are people like me that's listening. So go ahead.
yeah, you know, so it's basically you got to be willing to die for what the change you're trying to stand and make. You know what I'm saying? It's no other way around it. I love peace. I pray for peace, but your oppressor's not gonna give you that. They're not gonna give it to you unless you're willing to take it.
Yeah. They don't know how to. They don't know how to give us peace. They don't know how, because they're not from here. That's the epiphany that I had a while back, that these leaders, they don't know how to lead because they aren't natural born leaders. They're puppets. They were placed in these positions. They're told what to say. So we can't rely on them for any sort of leadership or to provide a better future for us or for them, even, because they don't know how bad of a deal that they were in, or else they wouldn't have taken the deal. When it comes to, am I willing to stand for this, or to however it was ended up worded? So I used to, and I still do, talk about the amount of freedom that we do have and the rights that we do have and the power that we do have. And then this is my first year actually, like, when it comes to the food thing, growing my own food, tomatoes, eggplant, corn, peppers. Like it's more than talking the talk, is walking the walk. But I don't discredit anybody's doing the YouTube build either, because these are builds. These are, we all coming together at the street, like it's a meeting of the minds. And that's how we influence culture. That's how we let people know, like, start small, start in your backyard. If it's coming to food, or if it's what people don't realize in the media industry, cord cutting, people are turning off the TV. That's why the YouTubers are growing and they're actually making money, because people aren't watching the TV anymore. They're going to Sister Bethy's channel and all these other channels. So it's almost like in the 1960s, people started to leave the South and they started to go in other geographic areas and on the land. That's happening online. And then people are finding new people in different areas online. And so now you're being influenced by another set of values, by another set of images, things to aspire to be, information, ways to live. I hope that wasn't too far of a rant.
No. That was perfectly said. That was perfectly said what you just said. That's why I stated in the beginning, like, when I said YouTube, I say we can't just do YouTube. We got to have actions. That's the only thing. That's the only thing that changes. We can get on YouTube and talk all day long, give information, but what works better? I always learn better with hands-on experience. So I believe that if we doing what we talking, it'll work more better than us just having a million YouTube channels and just giving information out. And I think it'll work like, and I'm gonna speak for myself. I got tired of the U.S. government. They tried to assassinate me, shot me 9 times, left me shot 23 times for me being the son of Dr. Huey P. Newton. It's in encyclopedias. I got medical charts. I'm still labeling Shreveport, Louisiana is murder from 2nd-degree murder right now. Just got the documents back. It's posted and everything. So I got fed up with a government. So I no longer cried about it. I went and formed my own. So when I formed my own, now people are coming aboard to it because they see that, hey, this man is really trying to stand and make a change for the people, versus than me getting on YouTube every day and just talking about it. You see what I'm saying? We got to talk and we got to be able to get the information out. So YouTube and all these other networks is needed. But what I'm saying is that 90% of people, that's all they do, just YouTubes and debates all day long. Meanwhile, they're never really putting in no real actions. What I'm speaking of, just saying, like, if you don't talk about it, you got to be about it.
That's what I think. There's a level of YouTube that it is just talk, but then when you get into these types of builds or these types of conversations, you're gonna go deeper, and then your intentions or your real life is going to expose itself because you're not going to be able to just answer questions on a surface level if people have follow-up questions. So I don't know. I think this is just the beginning of something.
The reason
I think the next part comes next. I think people are going to say, all right, you know what? If I am going to host a show, or if I am going to be a part of, type it in the chat, I'm going to have to live. I'm going to have to walk this. I'm going to have to, you know what I'm saying? Like there's but so long you can sit in front of the computer without at least walking away from the computer with a different mindset.
Exactly. And the reason why I'm saying it, because I have met and talked to many different, and I'm pretty sure everybody that's listening, people on the panel, I'm pretty sure everybody didn't heard of these gun clubs. All these gun clubs claim to be revolutionaries and this and that, but I have spoke to many of them. I could call names, but I'm not gonna call their names. I have spoke to many of them that have told me and my minister of defense on calls they not revolutionary. But you the leader of an entire militant gun club.
You mean like the NRA?
I'm talking about like the NRA, the New Black Panther Party, the UP Newton Gun Club. I'm talking about
those types of things.
Those types, and those specific names I call are specific people that have told me this. The UP Newton Gun Club told me he ain't revolutionary. Told me he wanted one of our They Feel Truth badges to put on his jacket. So he want to be one of like them old men that you see with all them patches on their jackets. He want to be like that. He told me he not revolutionary. But you the founder and leader of a gun club that's using my pop name, but you ain't revolutionary. That's a problem. You see what I'm saying? So it's a lot of people that you would think that are revolutionary that's not. They only doing it for entertainment and fiat.
Right. And I think that road has come to an end, and it's just a matter of time. Like the NRA, people would donate money, blah, blah, and it reached a height now. But in order to catch the next generation or just more people, someone from the NRA is going to have to expose something about what they're doing, what they're trying to do, because you can come online and get a message to the people. So if you just don't see it, if you don't see any person behind it, getting them letters in the mail, donate this, people are just going to be like, why am I donating? So it's just a matter of time. I don't think we want this whole thing to change completely overnight, because we got to build the infrastructure behind what the new world looks like. And a part of it is it's a disassembling of a lot of secret societies that worked for a time being, but they didn't recruit the right talent in order to take us to where we're really going in 2023 and beyond. So some of those structures are still there just because in the 80s you didn't have this. So then the NRA had to come together as a group of people. Now they're much older. They're actually not trying to, they didn't continue to grow and reinvent themselves to remain relevant. So they're just going to fall by the wayside. The new secret societies and I don't want to say the new secret societies because that might ruffle some feathers, but I'm saying like the new way of forming communities or groups with people that are actually able to, is this.
Okay, I heard you speak on the secret society. Most people think that the secret society are the rich people that's up here in the population that's controlling everything, this, that, and that's true. But that's only 50. I'm gonna say that's only 35% true. You know who the rest of the 65% people are? You, the people.
Correct.
Do you know how many people that are regular individual people living next door to you that are part of that society? And they might be a construction worker, or they might work at Walmart, or they might work at Dollar General, but they're part of that secret society. Want me to tell you how I know? Because my right-hand man was murdered from that same secret society for not killing me.
Correct.
You see what I'm saying? So it's not so much of the system, it's you, the people. You see what I'm saying? So
I don't know enough to say what I really want to say, because it's almost like in those secret societies, they didn't get the right information. So that it is everyday people in it, but
it's more everyday people in it than it is famous people in it. You know why?
100%, 100%.
Because
But what are those
everyday
everyday
people,
people learning? Look at
everyday
the
people
culture.
trying to
They're
get
not
rich.
learning anything. They used to learn things that were enlightening. They used to learn things that were culture driving. They're not learning that anymore.
That's true. That's
And
true.
that's a big deal when you think about what the purpose behind what it was formed. It really was Trent. They were Trent. Those people, they would go out into the schools or into the streets, and they'd be on code on your square, they would say, and they would
In order to
influence. Huh?
in order to recruit, you got to go and talk to people. So if you part of a secret society, you ain't gonna go to a person and tell them all the bad part about it. You're gonna tell them all the good part. Because you're trying to get them to recruit. And while they getting recruited or they get recruited in, within time, they start learning all these things. The higher you go up, the more that you learn. You don't start out going into the Illuminati or the secret society knowing the highest things. No, you don't. You got levels and brackets that you go through. I got a book called Illuminati Secret Religion. Comes straight from high members, selected members of the Illuminati and the government. And it's an all true documented 500 pages with pictures, documents, evidence, government, everything. I'm talking about every book that I publish or write is nonfiction, and it come with actual facts that you be able to see. So it's like this secret society is more open than what you think.
I agree, and I mean, as somebody who purchased that book, and you're a book in and of yourself. Someone said, Celtic Indian said, YouTube is a weapon in rewiring minds to bring change on a level. What you're giving out some of them nuggets by just whenever you open your mouth. So the rewiring, that's why I continue to go back on the rewiring of the minds is happening in real time. And so all the information where you had to go to a class or you had to be a part of a group in order to get this information, I'm not saying you're just getting it for free, because if you understand how the universe works, you're going to pay your dues one way or another, whether you donate into a channel,
YouTube,
you liken
all these channels
when you come into a build, like it's an exchange of energy that's letting this consciousness rise to where it needs to be in 2023. Like we're doing things that the ancestors were prophesying about. They're cheering us on, and like it's way bigger than any one of us.
It's like when you go on these YouTube channels, when I said research earlier in the show, and I said research, you got to do your own research. Research is the most important thing. You can go on 1 million channels and hear what everybody's saying and then go try to do it, but you ain't did no research, so you didn't did it wrong. That's because you didn't do your own research. When you go on these YouTube channels are strictly only to give you the information to be able to find what you need to find and do your own research. But most people go on these YouTube channels and just listen, then try and go and do it, and they don't succeed. That's because it's research involved in succeeding. You cannot succeed if you did no research. So if I told you how to go and beat a case, and you listen on my YouTube on how to beat a case, okay? It's other steps to how to beat that case. It's other steps to certain things. You see what I'm saying? Like if somebody told you you can grow food in your own yard. Yeah, you can grow food in your own yard. But what if they ain't told you them other steps that you got to go out there and plow the ground? I'm saying if you don't know this right here, you got to go up there and plow the ground now. You got to tilt the ground. You got to put the seeds in the ground. You got to do this here. You got to put some fertilizer. You got to go in there, claim it and get. They still lost. They won't succeed because why? They didn't do their own research. So what's wrong with this generation today? They fail to research. They listen good, but they research very, very low. You have to research. When you go on these, it's a lot of false information on YouTube too. So you got to research the information that you are receiving, or you will still stay in that same cycle, in that circle. You will still stay in that circle because why? You're missing one thing. You did not research what you heard.
Okay, that's fair. I'm curious for you to dive deeper. You said what's wrong with this generation is they're not doing the research. What's
is that you, Creek? I'm sorry. Is that you, Creek?
I jumped on and jumped off.
I know I'm asking him in the back. I want to make sure we ain't getting no flasher because a flash.
I've been hearing
Yeah,
people say something about them flashes, man. Them
man,
say them
flashers.
flash.
They'll snapshot a picture of Creek's avatar, right, and then come on the panel and then flash you. You think it's? I know who Creek is, but somebody will take a picture of his avatar and come up here like they're Creek, and then they turn their camera on and you're getting flashed. Yeah, it's really bad. Hey,
Perverse,
Creek,
man.
hit
Perverse, man.
hit your camera real quick, Creek. I just want to know it's you. Oh wait, he's typing in the back. Oh, it's me laughing my ass off. Okay.
But I was
God
saying,
help.
about this generation because
Okay, go ahead. You can turn it off, Creek.
I was
It's
saying
her.
about this generation because I know you see my you just asked me about this generation. I was saying this generation because I'm 43 years old. I have 12 kids and 5 of them are grown.
Well, oh,
So I have 12 kids, 9 grandkids. So 5 of my kids are 18 and above. The rest of them are 17, like 16, 15. I don't have no babies. Like my youngest one is 13. So it's like I can. This is why I'm able to speak on this generation because I be on my kids' ass like that.
Yeah, yeah, but all
So
right,
I'm
so let
able
me
to
just finish
speak
the
on this
question.
generation because I see that very few of this generation do research. Those that are research, you see them all across line giving the knowledge. And when you go and research what they talking about, it's correct. But those that are not, they just those are the ones that are listening. And it's a lot of this generation that just listen instead of research.
Yeah, it's
They
called
listen.
hearsay.
Yeah, they listen and then they go move on it
Yeah,
instead of listening
yeah,
and then let me research. Now I'm gonna move on.
yeah. Hearsay. You heard somebody say it. That's it. I heard and I said it. That's it. Hearsay.
I could agree with that, but if you can pick out, and I don't mean this in a negative way, I want because you actually have some insight into it with having 12 kids. If you could pick out the negative in this generation and what they could work on, what is something that you see as a positive, something that the next generation or this generation, if you group them together, that just got like something that they have, you know what I'm saying? Like that innate, like this generation is what's the positive and what how they're being.
What's the positive in this for this generation? The positive in this generation because they're not afraid to fight. They're just fighting the wrong people.
Boom.
They're not afraid to learn. They just learning the wrong shit. You see what I'm saying? Instead of them learning how to grow food, they learn how to tote guns and shoot drive-bys and kill people. You see what I'm saying? Instead of them learning the law, trying to figure out how to get out of things, they're going to get in things and then don't know how to get out of it. You see what I'm saying? Instead of wearing their pants up on their ass, they wear them up under their ass cheeks. You won't excuse my French for what I'm finna say, but I need to say this harsh. You mean to tell me you want everybody in the world to see your asshole? So you wear your pants up under your ass cheek to where your whole ass cheek is. You don't think that's faggotish? You don't think that's homosexual? You see what I'm saying? So it's like a lot of different things from this generation come from the industry. When I say the industry, the rap industry, the movie industry, this, that, and females didn't want to start sitting with their legs open until they seen Beyonce sit with hers open. You see what I'm saying? Monkey see, monkey do. Young men didn't want to start wearing their pants hanging around their ass until they seen NBA YoungBoy and Lil Wayne and all these other young boys. You know what I'm saying? I so many youngster ones like this here, but they didn't. Now you see him now. I watched a young man get dressed one day. He was getting dressed. He was gonna go somewhere, but not like watched him get dressed. But I'm saying he like put on his clothes and stuff. And when he got to his belt, instead of him pulling his pants up, I don't see nothing wrong with a small piece of sagging. You know what I'm saying? I don't think you're supposed to wear your damn pants up to your navel. No, but I'm saying he deliberately tightened his belt up tight enough so his pants will stay wrapped around up under his ass cheek, but he wanted his pants to stay above his penis. That made no sense to me.
Monkey
And you
see,
call
monkey
that
do.
manly? That's
Monkey see,
not
monkey do.
manly. So it's like we have to reconstruct. We got to reconstruct what you were speaking of earlier. We got to reconstruct the brain of the youth. How do we can reconstruct the brain of the youth? We see that talking is not enough. So now we need to put forth actions. It's just like if I came and told you if you was a drug dealer and you out there selling dope and you making $5,000 a week selling dope. And I came and told you, hey man, you don't need to be out here selling dope. It's a better way to do this here. You're gonna look up at me probably and say, well, what's the better way? Man, you can go and do this here and go do this here. You can get your business, man. But I ain't got no business, but I'm talking to you about one. You see what I'm saying? So it's kind of hard to get a person to do something if you ain't doing it. Basically, like it's hard to get a person to stop selling dope if you ain't got no other alternative for them to eat. So it's gonna be like you're gonna be talking to a brick wall. So it's hard to get people to get with a movement if you yourself ain't about that movement. It's hard to get people to stand up and be ready to fight and die for something if you yourself not ready to die for what you're talking about fighting for. It's like my father said, those is many people and many revolutionary people who that supposed to be leaders that speak to the people and want the people to do what they themselves as revolutionary leaders supposed to be doing. But they too afraid and cowards. So they try to rally the people up to do what they supposed to be doing. You see what I'm saying? So it's like we gotta. It's gonna be hard, but it gotta be done. You know what I'm saying? It got to be. It got to be done. A lot of the youth gonna be lost. A lot of them won't be lost. It's gonna be some that's gonna awaken, and it's gonna be some that's gonna stay asleep.
That's a good point, bro. What you just said right there, man. I see. I agree with both of y'all, though, man. It's getting to that point. People are waking up, but I think some of everybody got to stand up. I don't think it's just accountability. It's just the older. But when we talk about that subject, there, of course, automatically you got to follow or have a leader or somebody that's an example to follow after. Especially when you don't have the men are being pushed out of the home and they're being raised by single parent homes, predominantly women. But here's another thing too, is that a lot of people, man, they gonna get tired of it eventually. These boys coming into prison and all of them. I see a lot of them that, if you go back 10 years ago, whoever was 15 now is 25. That criteria around that time for 15 to 25, that's the most critical point for a man growing to a boy. You know what I'm saying? It's between 15 and 25. And I think I see that changing. I see where there's a lot of them they don't want to go through this. They're not already seen where they went through, YA or the youth center, and, go from there to probation and all this stuff that they having to go through, man. They don't want to do it no more. But here's the thing, though. Now you got to watch about when they run from that. A lot of them are running to be gay. Now, I don't want to put that out there because, I'm not gay, but I know, I don't want like to disrespect people that they're not gay for any reason why, because some people are not gay by choice. Some people either got molested or whatever their path was that took them to where they at and they had to deal with it.
I think being gay is always a choice. If you got molested
I
when
agree.
you were
I
5
don't want
years,
to talk about. Hey guys.
all right.
Yeah,
Let's
that's
get
why I
off
just
it.
that's why I
Let's
just
get off
skimmed on that because you
Yeah,
got
let
you
it
got
go.
you got
Let it go.
you got some situations where people just got raped and this whatever. You know what I'm saying?
I know.
So
Let's
so
let it go. Let's let
yeah
it go.
yeah no, I'm done with it. I'm
Right,
moving
right.
past
Yeah,
that. Yeah, I'm moving
yeah.
past that.
Move on. That's not
But
what the topic is.
no. I was just trying to touch on that real quick and then go past it. But the thing is, when I look at the numbers though, and why they go down, I look at what increases. And a lot of people are running to feminism. So the thing is, if we ain't, the bottom line is this: if we ain't gonna stand up, or we just gonna sit here and complain and keep talking, you know what I'm saying? We got to step up. It's just what it is. I got a whole video I made where I walked from my house. I caught the bus to a whole neighborhood, got out, and walked from door to door, and not just that, but just from the place to place, all through the neighborhood, just shaking people, meeting them, shaking their hands, talking to them, passing out decorations, getting it done. Now I walk through there, everybody knows who I am. They know what I'm talking about. Okay, that's step one. Then step two, I do a follow up on going through that same neighborhood, checking with people that do want to hear, people that do. Then I start learning about the neighborhood. Then I start learning from the neighborhood, from the people, from
Yeah.
involvement. being a part of the community. We're not
Mm-hmm.
activists. We're not doing that. And I'm
Right.
talking about
Right.
these people on these Aboriginal channels. This is why I always go back to, and I commended you the last time I was on the show, and I'm doing the same again. You know, us following, what you did with the Warrior Tribe and the organization and putting that together, and then going out places where you went to. I think it was, quote me if I'm wrong, but I think it was North Carolina, and then you went from there to DC.
Well, we went to DC twice.
You went to DC
Well,
twice in
actually,
the
3 times
yeah,
to DC and South Carolina
South Carolina. There you
twice,
go.
twice,
Okay.
and yeah.
That type of thing has to happen. We don't have an advocacy group. Like the brother was just saying, we just on
It's called
YouTube. Like what
canvassing. It's called canvassing. Really, that's what it is.
yeah.
When you're around in the community, it's called canvassing.
Yeah, I'm aware of that.
Yep, they do that
Yeah.
during presidential campaigns.
Right.
Same, it's the same thing. It's only you're doing it with your community, minus trying to support somebody's presidency. You
Hmm.
do the same
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
You take those same tools and you use it to engage with your community.
Right. Yeah. I
Stop
remember that was
helping.
a
Right.
that was a discussion we had during the pre. I remember we was talking about how you was gonna move doing it, like what how you was gonna put your first best foot forward and how you was gonna do it. And I remember because at one time I think people were saying, "Oh, you got to have a license, or you had to have a vending license," or there's just a lot of guessing that was being thrown out there. But whatever we got to do to get it done, that's just the bottom line. It's got to happen. I did it. You know what I mean? I taped my me going through the neighborhood. It's on my other channel. I got out there, Conscious News, um, studies and reports. So if you look that up word for word, you'll see where I got the video at posted up on that. And because I've been shadow banned, and and after I believe after they strike my channel, I've never been able to get any subscribers since then. None.
Oh
And I
wow.
always had subscribers. I had, even if it was like one or two through the week, I always had subscribers. Now it's at the same amount it has been for the last 2 months since that strike came in. And
Oh
the same thing with
wow.
my videos. If I didn't go out and post that video on Facebook, and the amount of people that went to go look at that, because I counted the amount of people I sent it out to, I wouldn't have had
Uh-huh.
no views on that. I wouldn't have had any views at all.
You didn't give us the link to your channel in that email either.
I thought I did, and I
No,
might
that's
not. I
why I'm
might have
like,
got
I don't know.
okay.
You
I'll make
didn't
sure I
put
do
the
that.
link in there.
Yeah, they've been trying to blackball me. Ever since I brought up the CEO of YouTube, which is Susan Wojcicki, and I've been doing an investigation on her. I noticed that I've been blackballed like never before. That I don't even get views on my videos, and people can say what they want to say. I mean, even at my worst, I've always had at least 400 or 500 views. You know what I'm saying? And that's not the like his brother said. Everybody got YouTube. You know what I'm saying? Everybody do. So
Yeah.
mine's not being played in the YouTube
But you
feed.
don't come on
Yeah,
like you used to either, Creek. You don't come
yeah,
on. You
yeah,
used to come on more frequently. Now
yeah, yeah.
you
I've been
don't.
in
You
the yeah.
stop coming on. That's probably
Well,
why.
yeah, because I switched gears, and the reason why is because a lot of what I have to say, I just don't feel like it's fit for YouTube. Because I do a lot of rolling out, so to speak. Like what we need to do, and serious about it. And
and
that's not something I'm going to give up on YouTube. You know what I'm
and
saying?
that's one of the real. I used to do YouTube, and then I realized like everything important that need to be said and need to be heard, YouTube will block you from it. So I just
Exactly.
start
That's
paving
why
the
you
street.
got to take it to Zoom. You take it to Zoom where it's private.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so that's
yeah.
why
So I
I
got a
started
Zoom.
paving the streets and
Yep,
taking to other things, because it's like if you
yep.
if you talk about this, you can talk about shooting and killing people, but you can't talk about a revolution. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
It's like
It's
that.
that deep.
Yeah, that don't make no sense to me. If I'm talking about the problem of society, I'm gonna talk about homosexuals and all that. You see what I'm saying? But
Well, it's by design.
you get blocked for that. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
You
yeah.
get certain things if you talk about it for is on that level right there, they don't block you. But like if you talk about certain, they block you for it. And I'm not the type to bite my tongue. I mean,
Yeah,
I see all
yeah.
problems
Nah,
all the way
nah.
from our youth to the government to the homosexuals to men's
Yeah,
not being in the house because they pushing us. I see it all, so I talk about it all. So it's I'm not gonna let something block me from the truth being out because there's a million ways to get the truth out.
You know, that's another thing too, though. I want to elaborate on that, though. We don't all think the same. Like you said, you was 42, brother. So we in the same age bracket. These youngsters, man, take 20 years from that, they do not think like we do at all. They don't wear the same kind of clothes we do. They some of the fashion, some of the stuff kind of contrast, but not everything. It's almost like they totally different, and they desecrate everything that's old. Look at these white folks, man. They don't dare talk about how Elvis Presley is old or his polyester wearing outfit. They don't do that. They don't desecrate
Exactly.
their old like that. But you got our youth getting on here, like you said, NBA YoungBoy. Shouts out to NBA YoungBoy. You know what I'm saying? It's one of my favorites. But you know, they'll just look at all they're real receptive when it comes to the negativity. You know what I'm saying? That's all they draw to. That's it.
Exactly. And
You
that's
know,
most.
and
But when you think about it,
they
that's
promoting
not.
it.
Yeah,
They
it's just
promoting it.
not the youngsters. It's just not that young generation. That's just like older people. How you think love and hip hop came and played basketball
Same
wise?
thing. It's by
When you sit up and
design.
watch these shows, it ain't nothing but a bunch of drama. So to me, I feel like the industry is playing to the world that that's all we about, a bunch of drama. You know what I'm
It,
saying?
yeah,
Because
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
everything that they give
propaganda.
us, yeah, everything that they give us on TV,
Yeah,
it always, no matter what it is, it'll start out peacefully and good, and in the middle of in the middle of the season, you start seeing all the drama, and then the next
that's how they
season come
get you.
on and still drama
Yeah,
and drama and drama. So it's like they drama and fighting, we in the clubs
that's a
drinking.
fact.
So it's like, no,
Yeah,
man, I know that ain't my people. I know we ain't the most perfect people, but I know we ain't that fucked up either.
that's a fact.
The
You know
the
what I'm
way
saying?
the
That's a
way I
fact.
see that being
That's a fact.
dismantled now is because what's hot, I think, in our communities, well,
Yeah.
Creek already was kind of talking about it, the Aboriginal stuff. I think what we started to realize is that word black don't apply to everybody. And not only does it not apply to everybody, it was given to us, and then they created this image attached to it that people started to say, whoa, that don't represent me and my family or whatever.
Yeah.
So on YouTube, people are starting to poke at that bubble there to burst it and to say, okay, who are we really? Because I'm not black, you're not black. So who are we really? That's where you get the American Indian or Aboriginal or all, people may know their tribes, or some people are actually African or from the Caribbeans. So there is being exposed one way or another who you are really behind outside of just that black thing. And then from there, you can redefine what it means to be that. Because if everybody's black and then you got BET and then it's just like, oh, I'm rooting for everybody black. We all just everybody's in a single file line. But that's just not how reality works.
That's facts.
Right.
So now we have a camp that says they're Abo, a camp that says they're American Indian, a camp that says I'm cool with it. I mean, there's debates going on. Some of those debates are actually edifying. So it's like it works, even though one person says they won and lost. But what we're seeing is just a whole
separation
redoing of
divide and conquer. Division.
It's division, but it's not, because then you're getting with your people. So we're
but that one part, but that one part doesn't make it as unified either, though. You see what I'm saying? And it already started off divided, and then you come, it's like you accomplish one thing, but that one thing is a bunch of components that need to come together to make it liberty or unity, whatever it is that you're trying to glorify at the end of that. And I think
you can't come together under black, the title black, the term.
No, because we're doing that now and it's not working. It's not working. It's not when you have a definition to it. And like you said, it's a negative connotation the minute you say black. It doesn't matter. When you say it's a black guy, look at the pupils of the eyes dilate. Well, you can look at the body language. It changes. It's a negative connotation to it. It don't matter what it is. That's why you can look at it could be Johnny Cochran, and he could prove himself to be the best attorney ever. But because he's black, he's always going to still have that shadow that's going to ban him away from certain things and aspects of the game, because he's got that connotation of being black. And I think it's BS.
But when most of the people recognize or realize that we are actually American, then
here's the trick. See, now everybody can be an American depending on the laws that set place for citizenship. So
no, I'm not talking about citizenship.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. Okay, in layman terms, you're talking about American just being from here. Okay, so Now you got to redescribe what an American is, because the minute I claim it, now everybody else is American.
Are they?
Well, not according to the record, they would be. You know what I'm saying? Because it's a
No,
determination.
not according to the record. If you were to say, where are your people from?
Oh, yeah, but now you're getting
Not
out of,
even.
well, okay, see,
That's
yeah,
where,
that's a good
that's
point.
where I'm
That's a
at,
good
because
point.
I start asking
Yeah.
people, where are your people
But
from?
see, yeah,
And
but
then,
see, you challenging with what's on record though, and that's what I'm saying. And we're at that point now. That's where we're at right now. We need to give them a good enough challenge to question it. We haven't did that, and by acquiescence, you start performing the actions of being black. You've already accepted a contract. You got to remember what solidifies a contract: performance. The minute you start working, you already getting paid. Even if you feel like, hey, you know, I don't like this job, I work one day. Guess what? You have to get paid by the consignment of what you on that application is,
Contract
and the
starts.
amount of work that you did. That's it.
It
Yeah, it's
starts with
performance.
it starts with an offer and agreement. That's in the
Facts.
contract. An
Facts.
offer
Yeah,
and an agreement.
that's facts. Then
You got the
performance.
offer
You have to perform
and
it though.
agreement.
Yeah,
Right.
because if not, then now
That's
you
the
got to breach.
agreement. That's the
Yeah,
agreement.
the agreement
You
is what
can't
brings
get
it together.
you
That's
can't get a breach until you break the agreement. But as long as you got an offer, an
yeah.
agreement,
But if you don't show up for
you're
work, that's a
still
breach.
right.
You got to perform.
Right.
that's
You have to
the out.
actually
Yeah, that's the end result of a contract. Is, hey, I'm working because something was signed. That's it.
right.
It's always going to be performance. That's why you can lean them. Like we go back to the lien laws, you can lean them for non-performance. You didn't show up, you didn't do nothing. I give you 3 times a warning, 30 days, notary protest, put it in. It's a default automatically because you didn't show a performance. And if you don't acquiesce, then I can lien your. And that's kind of what they did to us. We collectively as a people didn't want to sign them damn treaties, and they grouped us all up into little projects. That's what happened.
Right.
Which is really
So
reservations compared to reservations. A project is a reservation.
so we really went way off. We were literally discussing, and I really wanted your opinion too. You weren't up here at the time.
They
And I'm going
kicked
to
me
do this
off.
one more time.
Yeah, they kicked
Oh
me off.
yeah. Okay.
That was
I was
terrible.
showing
Yeah.
how Benjamin Franklin stipulated and clarified that, and I went in there and showed them who Benjamin Franklin was. He was one of the drafters of the Constitution. He was a diplomat. He was in Congress. And he stated his observations of the world, stating that everything was black and tawny. The Germans, the Spaniards, the French, the Russians, everybody, right? And then when you think of 1751, and he's stating this, that this was the reality in 1751. And then you turn around and you go and you look at this shit right here. 1751, the Spanish, black and tawny. Look at the dates. Same dates that he was here. Britain, black and tawny. So are the Europeans. And you got the French and Indian War. These was niggas, black and tawny, fighting black and tawny.
That's facts. When you go look at that, when you just brought up the French and Indian War, when you go look at that, you're going to see white patriots and blacks fighting. What was the Indians at?
Hello.
That's
So
why
like,
they changed it from Indian War
it's
to
not adding up to the congressman's notes in 1751. The French and Indian War was in 1751. So if the French is fighting us, all right, over here, they're black and tawny. So something's wrong here. They whitewashed history because he said everything was black and tawny. And America, wholly so. He was very clear. So there's been some lies. So my thing is, if this is the case, shouldn't we be looking for some black? And who's the black and tawny people today?
That's a good question. That's a real good question. You know what? I'd like to throw something out there, and this will have to be a topic for a whole other show. The the ones that are supposed to be noble. Where you say
The
the
black
noblemen?
nobles. The black
Yeah,
nobles.
yeah, the black nobles, noble men, black
We're talking
nobles.
about the whole world being black and tawny.
Yeah,
All these Europeans that came over here, and we're fighting them in our wars. So
yeah,
these black and
yeah.
20 people are the ones that kicked us our land. Why? So these black and 20 people had to be the ones that were supposedly enslaved us. These
Mhm.
black and 20 people had to be the ones that kicked the Indians out and put them in Barbados and shit.
Talk to them.
So
Uh,
who they asses is
yeah, because you can't be white folks are not. I mean,
Benjamin
Caucasian.
Franklin's Observations of Mankind. It's not a book, it's his notes. Look it up right on YouTube.
You
But
got
go
the
ahead.
source for that too. You said what was that?
I got the
Benjamin
source.
Franklin.
All right, I'll pull it up right now and
Okay,
I'll put
yeah,
it in the
that'll work.
chat room.
That'll work. We can do that because I like to collect that information. You be coming up with some good stuff. But yeah, I
Steve Holiday and all of them know this. This is in the National Archives. Hang on. I'm gonna copy and I'm gonna
excellent.
put the link in the for the audience and in the back for you.
Okay, I see it here in the
Here
front.
it is. I'm putting it in the
Okay,
back chat too.
excellent.
Now
Okay,
I'm gonna
gotcha.
do a damn share screen.
That'll work.
Look at this shit. This is the book right here. Look, you see this? Observation concerning the increase of mankind.
Mm-hmm.
And I already read this.
Gotcha.
It is notes. And if you go down to number 24, these are all his notes that he was taking. If you go down to number 24, that's exactly what I read.
Mm.
Which leads me to add one remark that the number of purely white people in the world, this is in 1751, is proportionably very small. He's saying that this is the case of the world in 1751. All Africa is black or tawny, Asia chiefly tawny, America exclusive of the newcomers, wholly so. That means the whole goddamn America. And in Europe, the Spaniards, Italians, French, Russians, and Swedes are generally of what we call a swarthy complexion. Swarthy is dark. I
That's
pulled up
correct.
what swarthy is and showed pictures of people that are swarthy, as are the Germans also. The Saxons only accepted who with the English make the principal body of white people on the face of the earth.
Mm.
Yo, I'm fucking done. This is in 1751. All right. Here's the notes. It's in National Archives. This is Benjamin Franklin's observation of the increase of mankind. That's it right there. Found it online. National Archives.
Oh, I got that now. All right.
So now I'm saying this. Why I was saying this, y'all. In saying so, the
There was
this
a
shit freaked
majority.
me out. Right.
Mm-hmm.
This shit freaked me out. So you telling me in the Spanish invasion, we was fighting swarthy motherfuckers. In 1607, the Great Britain in the Americas, we was fighting swarthy motherfuckers. In
That's a fact.
1754, in the French Indian War, we was fighting swarthy motherfuckers. In the Revolutionary War, it was swarthy motherfuckers. So why is all these white people claiming to have fought in this goddamn war?
Because they don't have a history. They did
And
a
then,
switch and bait.
listen,
When the World War I came, they did a
territories-
switch and bait.
Right. And the Indian territories became states between 1787 and 1790. Okay. All right. The ratifications, all this was with business was with some swarthy ass motherfuckers who, from Europe and Germans and all them. So how they turn white?
World War I, they did a switch and bait.
That's the question for the next segment. And I put the book in it, read it, and we're gonna come back and we're gonna talk about that.
That's true, because
I've been you seen that, right? Very clear.
I gotta read that through. Just because if you ever, as far as you go back with white people, their people got here. You will very rarely find a white person who was here in 1776. A lot of their family came in very recent times. Their great grandfather, they know the exact story.
That's a fact.
Right. And that's why it's not even to discredit them. It's just to get more information from these people that are around us. They know they're from somewhere else. So where are the people that were here at the origin when the whole thing started?
That's why I keep saying to everybody, stop making this a white man Kunta Kinte story. Get the hell off the white man's back. Who is these swarthy motherfuckers?
Right. There you go.
That's why I always say on my channel, get off the white man's ass about the bullshit that went on over here. Let's talk about these goddamn swarthy.
They just got here, brother.
That's
a fact. They just got here. Barely 100 years.
We need to be talking about who's these swarthy motherfuckers. I want to know who they is.
That's a fact. World War I was the turning point. There's so many mysteries behind that, and I don't know why. For whatever reason, why a lot of Aboriginals don't even touch that topic. They always go and they stop right when it gets to 1890. After that, they don't talk about nothing else after that.
Yeah,
and that's not enough. That's not going all the way. No, go to World War I.
We got to talk about this.
Yeah, World War I. That was an American Revolution. World War I. That's when they started turning all this stuff. That's when they came in with the New Deal and the rollout with FD. After that, before that was Hoover, and before Hoover it was Roosevelt.
Yeah, Roosevelt and Hoover.
Yeah. Roosevelt was the one. Yep, Roosevelt was the one that did all the New Deal and rollout around the 20s and the 30s. Going from the 20s to the 30s. I'm sorry. Yeah. Yep, that's a fact.
That's gonna be the next segment, and I'm going ham on the next segment. Maybe I'll do it tomorrow. I got to see how I'm feeling when I get off of work. But it's almost midnight, and we've been on almost 4 hours. We just lost Huey, the presidential candidate for 2024. Rico, he fell off. I don't know if he lost coverage or signal. Or what, but it was great having him up here, and I hope he comes back during the next time. And I hope you guys are here when we're gonna go ham on that.
You mean your next topic?
Okay. Yeah, the Swanee Tarzi people that ran this shit. The Swanee Tarzi people that ran these damn Indians off the land. That's why I keep saying to everybody, okay, Andrew Jackson asked, because all the 20 swarthy Indians, and that's why Andrew Jackson's ass had to be
he was mixed,
Tawny and swarthy or whatever.
Yeah,
because he came from the north with all these goddamn praying niggas, but they, you know what I mean, and marched his ass down south to fight in the Civil War. So we gonna go ham on that because I got a lot of other stuff.
Good.
I got a lot of other stuff. We're gonna go ham on this shit.
That'll
so
work.
y'all be on the lookout for the title that said, let's talking about them Swanee Tardy niggas. Who they asses is. Who they asses is. We gonna break it down. But yeah, I was exhausted. I was completely exhausted. I didn't even have my meeting tonight for the family tribe thing. I was exhausted. I said, you know what? I need a break. Genealogy killed me today. I did 2 genealogies today, and it tore my brain up. So I wasn't even ready to. But we're gonna come back, you guys. Yeah, man, you know the patience you
gotta get rest. Yeah,
great guy that I did today. He was really a sweetheart. He really is. But you guys hit the like button, and we'll be back. Thanks for coming. We need to continue having these great conversations. We do. Moses, can you stay on? Don't go. I'm gonna end the show and stay on. I wanted to talk to you for a minute.
Okay.
And Creek, I'm gonna hit you up and call you.
That'll work. Salute to the guys. You already know, and the goddess. Peace.
All right. Everybody, I love you guys. Just stay on, Moses. I'm going to end the show. You guys, take it easy, and I'll see you guys very, very soon. Very soon. Oh, yeah, Chief Holiday's live now. If y'all ain't sleepy, Chief Holiday is live.
Smoke up the memories as I sit and dust them off. Why do people say it's just to piss you off? Ignore them, no call button and then dress too par. Now they can't test the guards, had to defy the odds. It only get tougher back then, we thought times was hard. Told them don't write me off, told her don't type at all. To all the ones that gave up, this a reply to y'all. That wavy haired kid that you knew, been on a tear since. The cries was lower than the laughter now that I'm hearing. The praise for staying committed to something they played with. It was always about us, it's